wrestling kids and the millions listening live around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for the round table.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of Roundtable Wrestling. I am one of your hosts, Keith, the Wild Man Miller, and with me, as always, David D-Lo Logan.
I don't have to take my refrigerator to the graveyard.
Hell yeah. Pablo Kino Aquino.
It's giving wrestling.
Yeah, man.
And with the news, Brent, the Nightmare Ward.
How's it going, everyone?
Hey.
Woo! All right, guys. What a week in wrestling, huh?
Oh yeah.
Man,
Wow.
so much went down.
There is some cool, awesome news out there, too. So let's get it kicked off, man. Rumor mill. Friday Night SmackDown tonight, baby.
Baby.
Yeah. Baby.
Pentagon Zero is said to make his SmackDown debut against Carmelo Hayes tonight.
Now.
Ooh.
Tonight.
Son.
Is it going to happen, guys?
Man.
I don't know.
Personally, I just hope if it does, WWE has somebody in the back who speaks Spanish.
Hopefully.
I'm sure that they do.
Or he could just speak in symbols and just go like this.
Cero
Yeah.
Cero miedo.
That's all you gotta do.
I imagine it'll be Pentagon and Andrade.
Oh,
Hmm.
my
And then
God.
and then a year from now when Phoenix actually retires and then unretires to join WWE.
You're running with LWO. Kick with
Yeah,
Cero.
man.
Yeah.
Of course,
Don't
he'll
you
be
love,
an
don't you
LWO.
love background?
Why wouldn't he be an LWO?
Exactly.
I said
Don't you
he
love
worked with-
background politics though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Good stuff.
Good to go.
Also, this happened yesterday, and I was kind of confused at first, and then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, man, this could be a work. But Logan Paul has retired from pro wrestling, and that came from Newsweek.
Fucking Hallelujah.
Yeah,
Hallelujah.
he said it on his podcast. So
Hallelujah.
yeah, someone asked him if he was getting ready for WrestleMania, and he said, "I'm a dad now." He's like, "I'm not wrestling. I'm retired, brother."
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Go be a dad, ho.
3 matches, dude. What do you have? 3 matches?
Did he
3
say
matches, and then he retired.
so? He said it to a blogger. He said it to who did he say it to?
He said it on Impulsive, which is his podcast.
His podcast. Okay.
They
So,
didn't say who the guest was, and I don't watch Impulsive, so I don't know.
I don't
But
want
they were
like-
any Paul.
They were
crap.
like, yeah, they were like, "Are you getting ready for WrestleMania?"
I take no offense.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm not wrestling anymore, dude. I'm a dad now. I'm done with that."
yeah. I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, though. You know what I mean? Like,
So
Well,
Yeah.
do you think it's really just like a red herring? Where
It could
it's-
be him just
be.
doing funnies. You know what I mean?
It could be
Like-
him doing the. I don't want to.
whatever.
Put the cart before the
Yeah.
horse, but it's
Right,
kind of like
right.
it either sounds like the Tony Storm thing, or it sounds like it's just like,
Right.
yeah, I'm being sued by 3 different entities right now, and
Yeah.
and they hate me enough to make me lose at home to LA Knight and lose the championship. And I
Right.
got booed
Yeah.
out of my own hometown, and
Yeah.
Dominic keeps bullying me, and I can't go to Japan. So
It could also be like when someone says, "Hey Keith, can you go grab that thing from the other room?" And I'm like, "Dude, I can't go to the other room. I'm old as hell."
I retired from grabbing things from the other
Yeah.
room.
I'm retired from walking from one room to the other. I'm 50. You know what I mean? It
So
could
that's
be
why
something
I
like
do
that
that.
None of
too.
that.
You know?
So that's why parents calls like, get me that room over there. That's
Yeah,
why.
that's exactly it, dude.
God
You
damn.
get too old to be walking from one room to the other, man.
And if
Yeah.
you didn't give them the Switch, then they get mad at you and beat you for not giving you the Switch.
Take it back to the olden days. Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, Black in America.
Hey, now.
Bronson Reed successfully goes through his surgery, but he did have some complications beforehand.
Oh,
Mm.
Yeah, but everything
no,
is
man.
successful now, and he's on his road to recovery. So hey,
damn.
we
All right. Good for him, man.
Godspeed
Yeah,
to
man.
you.
Yeah.
Give out, big fella.
Try
Don't-
not to jump on off of anything that high again.
Yeah. Lay out a little bit, dude. Lay out a little bit.
Mhm.
Don't
Yeah.
land on your feet. That hurts.
Yeah.
like
Don't
hell.
land on your feet when you jump from that high.
I did actually
Rock
see in
Tomato.
an interview that the reason why he does that is because Bam Bam Bigelow used to jump off the top rope with one leg or something like that. That's what he mentioned.
I
And
mean,
I was wondering
cool,
why
but-
he jumped the way he did, and he was like, "Yeah, because
Right,
Bam Bam used
but
to do
the
a headbutt and
difference
all of that."
is right. The difference is Bam Bam did a headbutt, so by the time he hit the ground, he was vertical. You
Yeah,
know what?
exactly.
Or
right.
horizontal. My bad.
Horizontal, yeah.
Horizontal. Yeah. By the time he hit the ground, he was horizontal. Coming down with that much weight, landing on one leg, you're a dummy if you do that. I'm just saying. It doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah,
you're
Doesn't make any
fucked.
sense.
It'd be an expensive learning experience, but a
Yep.
learning
Yeah.
experience. He's still young,
For
so
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Matt Riddle's AAA Cruiserweight Championship title run came to an end at the cost of Laredo Kid.
Nice.
He's
Maybe
a
that'll
Roserweight? He's a
Yeah.
Roserweight?
maybe
Oh.
that'll show TNA like Laredo Kid is super good, man.
He is.
well,
Yeah,
he's
he
been
is.
getting featured a decent amount. I think
Yeah.
he fought this last week on
Yeah.
Impact.
Yeah, but it was kind of in a meaningless tag match. You know what I mean? I'd like to see
Yeah.
Laredo Kid do something. He's good enough, you know. He could get some little
True.
kids behind him and stuff.
Well, hey yo, that's
Oh,
it's
That was kind of crazy. That's
I mean, like a Rey Mysterio kind of way, y'all.
oh
Dang,
god.
kind of
man.
crazy.
So he's
What's
actually,
wrong with
I
y'all?
believe he's fighting Moose for the X Division Championship, which I think is what they were kind of getting at, kind of building him to be
Is he?
a contender. Moose is trying to do the whole
Yeah,
intercontinental
he's making.
Miz thing where he's like, yeah, I'm making this bigger than Nick Nemeth's belt in spite of
Yeah.
him, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Why ain't go over the title? He can cash that joint in. Cash that shit in.
I
Option
just
C.
all these cash-ins that
damn it.
they have to happen.
That's
I
the one
agree.
thing I do like about TNA. About that. That's the one thing I like about TNA. You can cash that in and be like, I want that world title. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I do
like that.
too.
I do like that Tiffany Stratton thing at Deadline, but we'll mention it. But I like that she hinted at that.
yeah.
Couple things I like.
Something
Hey,
else
now.
that was really cool. Former TNA wrestling name Jeremy Borash returned to WWE commentary booth for WWE LFG Legends and Future Greats. Now he wasn't the only legend that's on board with this either, is he? Is he, Keith?
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of think Jeremy Borash is the smallest story on this whole LFG thing because
Absolutely.
Mickey James is coming back. Like,
yes.
wow,
Yes. Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Thank goodness.
yeah.
You were there. I'm there.
Undertaker is going to be a coach on the show out of character.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
So we get
Yeah.
Mark
So-
Calloway.
Yeah, so he's going to be
Yeah,
on there as,
Mark.
you know, I don't know if they're going to be calling him Mark, but he's, you know, he's not going to be acting like he's dead.
He is a Mark.
Booker T is going to be on there freaking irritating everybody,
Obviously.
saying dumb stuff.
And
And,
Libby.
yeah,
It'll be funny.
and Bubba Ray Dudley, which is, I guess that's why he got that contract and came back so he could do this. And
Pretty
and
awesome.
so far, Elijah Holyfield, who's Evander Holyfield's son and played for the Carolina Panthers, has had a match on the show.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool. I was a big Evander Holyfield fan when I was a kid. So it looks like it's gonna be cool. I think it's kind of gonna be like a Tough Enough type thing, but with live events thrown in. So
That'd be pretty
I
awesome.
like that. I
Yeah.
like
it should be interesting. Yeah.
Also, if I can say on that note, shout out Jeremy Borash, pride of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
You know,
Started
I
out
don't remember
for,
Jeremy Borash
KSML.
ever being in the WWE. I don't. They're like returns to the WWE.
Oh no, he was part of World Championship Wrestling, World Wrestling
Right.
All Stars, stuff like that, and then he was
He's actually made a
recently
few
part of the
appearances.
TNA Wrestling.
Has he?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
made some appearances for WWE. He does a lot of work backstage there.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't remember him doing anything. Where's Josh Matthews?
Don't
I
know.
was wondering.
we need
I
Josh
thought
Allen.
he was TNA. I thought he was TNA. Do the
What's he
commentary.
doing though? He's not. No, dude, he's not commentating. Aiden English and
Aiden English.
some guy Rick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did. You know, you're right. You're right about that.
Well, he's
Yeah.
now Matthew
right. Whatever
Reinholtz,
his
I think.
real
Yeah.
name is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Matthew.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you, Aiden English, for making
Okay.
making a way for yourself.
Hey, guy's
For
awesome
sure,
on
man.
the mic, man.
He's good.
awesome on the mic.
Yes, he's really good.
Yeah. Alan Angels will be out of action for the rest of the year after suffering a knee injury.
It is
I don't
late December.
know who that is.
You only got 3
Alan
weeks.
Angels from
Yeah.
he was technically part of Dark Order, no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He
I
was
don't know.
a young guy. He used to fly around a lot in the Indies, and
Okay.
Okay.
well, speedy
Well,
recovery
right.
to you, brother.
Yeah. Good luck, baby.
Calm down that set next time.
Eric Bischoff makes his MLW debut this week.
Mhm.
Okay.
What a
Yeah,
shot.
Pablo saw
Yeah.
this, so
Yeah, so I was watching it actually. I heard about it, but then I caught enough of it. I think it happened the night that we recorded last week.
okay.
I believe so, Friday, and it was called One Shot, and it was literally all revolving around Eric Bischoff. Like all the feuds, all the matches, they were going back and they were like making fun of him for WCW. They went out there and like were shooting promos on him, and then he was making him and Caesar had a good thing, and Bischoff was showing his natural heel work where he literally told me he set up a match for Mystico against Trevor Lee where loser loses his mask.
Wait, Trevor
And
got a
Mystico-
mask now?
Well, no, not Trevor Lee, but Mystico has a mask. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, but like Rey Mysterio was unmasked because of Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Eric
Right,
Bischoff
right.
naturally he doesn't care for the mask thing, and he
At
made
all.
that a gimmick. So he was like, you know what, Caesar, I'm gonna take. And Caesar said, and he's right. Mystico is the greatest Mexican wrestler of this generation.
Right.
And like Mystico, formerly known as Sin Cara, formerly known as Mystico.
Yeah.
Like, and I watched him when he came up, and he was amazing. Him beating Olympico for the title in that steel cage match was still one of the greatest matches, greatest moments in lucha. But yeah, Eric Bischoff was in his heel bag. He put on a masterclass of a 2-hour show too.
Nice.
Such a
Nice.
good job. So shout out to the good names, the good creatives out there that aren't named Vince Russo.
Right.
And you know what the thing is too? Like if you think about it, the only luchador in WCW who didn't get unmasked was El Parca.
La Parka,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Every other luchador lost their mask, and El
that's the
Parca
Bischoff thing.
was a veteran at that point. He was probably just like, "Screw you, buddy." You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not taking this thing off. I'll go back to Mexico. So
You know, I'll just be La Parka, and then I'll have La Parka 2 come up.
yeah,
Yeah, but I do
crazy.
like that. I do like the fact that, you know, they made it very relevant and then make it just like, oh, somebody's coming to produce, like a guest producer. Like they actually made him like the highlight of that night, which I think they should do that with Heyman one day, where they just give him the reins and then just
There we go.
make him GM again.
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
God.
And some other news, Zack Sabre Jr., Takashita, Gabe Kidd, El Desperado, and Micah have all been announced for the NJPW battle in the Valley event, which
Okay.
takes place January 11th in San Jose, California.
Nice.
All the
Should
way
be a
up
good
close to
event.
touch where I ain't gonna be. That's nice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to see Takashita. But, hey.
Yeah. Takashita's awesome, man.
Why are you guys saying Takeshita that way?
That's a real G way of saying it, man.
I think somebody
man.
mentioned to me that if you space out his name, it's take a that's
Take
that's
his
funny.
shit.
man, that's
I'm like,
funny.
man.
And that's what I hear. Like I'm hearing you
Take a
guys say
seat.
that, I'm like, oh gosh.
All right. The great Takashita.
Tyler Bates posted some stuff the other day in the gym, and he says he is
snaps.
almost ready to return soon.
Oh,
Good.
snaps.
Good on you, brother.
Good.
Maybe he'll beat the shit out of Pete Dunne.
Maybe.
Or Ali.
Isn't that kind of Pete Dunne's gimmick now, though? He gets beat up.
And called
He starts
Yeah.
he starts feuds that he can't finish and gets beat up.
I'm sorry,
Yep.
but our troops promo was fantastic.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
My
Somebody's got a phone next to the radio.
No, I think I was getting a spam phone call. It was
Ah,
just my phone vibrating from a spam phone call coming in.
You know, spam is made in Minnesota.
Nice.
Ooh.
The actual
Spam is also a really cool
meat.
Monty Python sketch too.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
yes, it is.
Don't get me started on Monty Python on this one.
Oh man, I love
Ooh-wee.
Monty Python.
Jesse Ventura.
Oh
We all
man.
know that he's going to be on Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
But he also recently said that when he went to WCW, Hulk Hogan got him immediately fired
I'm sure he did.
NDWCW.
in the
Not
WCW.
surprised.
They
Not
have so much
surprised.
heat, dude. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
guys-
surprised at all.
Did you guys see the rest of the legends who are going to be on Saturday Night's Main Event? They announced a whole list of them.
Mention,
Oh,
I suppose. I'm not sure.
Ted DiBiase,
Ooh.
Jimmy Hart.
Where my money at,
Okay.
yo?
The mouth of the South. All right.
Yeah.
hey,
I can't-
did you know that Jimmy Hart wrote most of the songs back in the day for the WWE?
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
He
heard
wrote
about
Shawn Mike.
I'm
He
not
wrote Sexy
surprised.
Boy. I know that
Yeah.
for sure.
Good see.
He also
Yeah, he
did
wrote most of the stuff.
Cobb County, Georgia for the Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they brought in Jim Johnston, Jimmy Hart wrote most of the stuff.
Yeah,
Ooh.
for those
Ooh,
people
I
who do
heard
not
that.
know
Yeah.
that.
And he
I
was in
heard.
the Gentries. He had a big like single in the 60s. Keep on Dancing, I think it was.
Dancing.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh,
That's it. I was like, that was surprised as hell. That was a shock of the year when I saw it. I was like, that was Jimmy Hart. What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
well.
what I did. I was like, okay, he got some real
Hey,
talent.
so check this out. A few minutes ago, Ted DiBiase pulled out of his appearance on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh
no.
Oh, he seen I was about to get
That's
my money.
breaking.
Like, yo, where's my money?
That's
He
breaking
pulled
news.
out, dude. But
You
yeah,
know
it looks like Greg the Hammer Valentine, Coco Beware, Tito Santana,
Nice.
Tito.
Yeah.
All right.
but no Ted DiBiase anymore. Which that's pretty controversial, isn't he? Still under
Mhm.
He's
federal
on some legal
investigation.
battles. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's some
so
That might be
lawsuits.
also. I was thinking at first the reason why he didn't want to go to the show is because he didn't want to put his son over.
Right.
But
Dang.
I imagine that I guess this legal troubles could be an issue as well.
Yeah.
And this is tomorrow, by the way, right?
yeah, tomorrow.
right, yeah. Tomorrow night
In Long Island, New York.
on NBC and Peacock.
We're
Yep.
gonna see two titles change hands. We might have to actually mention that a little later.
Oh,
we
I
got to
think-
get through this.
Yeah.
I know it's almost one. We're
Shout out to
Buttering
Tyler
along,
Bate.
talking a lot.
On your road to recovery. Shout out to every wrestler on their road to recovery. But
Yes. Ray Phoenix deleted recent comments about AEW to Tony Khan, and Tony Khan sent an apology letter to Ray Phoenix.
that was not an apology letter. That was an excuse letter.
That's
That was
exactly what that
not
was.
an apology letter.
it's dirty to hold somebody's livelihood over their head because of how you feel about their brother leaving the company.
Dude.
It's like,
And I'm sure that he didn't delete those tweets on his own accord. You know what I mean?
yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, for sure.
But we were talking about this before we went on the air. There is no way that first of all, you're a billionaire. You don't have a freaking someone on your staff, a translator, knowing that you deal with international talent who can speak the language of those said talent. And
Right.
let's just say for 1 second that that's true. There are so many wrestlers on AEW's roster who have lived in Mexico.
Yeah,
Are you telling me that they lived down there and wrestled down there and never learned Spanish?
right. They're all battle tested. I mean, a lot of those come from AAA.
Yeah, get out of here, dude. So he's
Or
like,
Lucha.
I'm freaking hurt. And you're like, oh, go get a burrito. Like, shut up, dude.
That's absolutely wellness.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the affluenza coming
yeah.
in from
And
Tony
the
Khan's side.
last bit of
Yeah.
news I have: BRCW is having a huge event this weekend. Guys, this is a big match card for Boca
Oh,
Raton
snap.
Championship Wrestling. Names like MJF versus QT Marshall for the
Wow.
yeah.
For the
And then
title?
we have like the tag team championship match for the BRCW championship tag team titles. Matt Riddle and Stallion Rogers, the champions, taking on Anthony Green and Matt Taven. What a
Nice.
match that would be.
Nice. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, Chris Masters
So-
and Madman are on that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cruiserweight title match: Neil the Heel versus Alan Martinez.
Yeah, the
Mm.
hell.
So yeah, for those of you who don't know about BRCW, it's run by this guy named Matthew Maslinger, I believe his last name is how you say it,
Yes,
who is
yeah.
a wrestling super fan, and he does real estate, and he has a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
one day he was just like, you know what?
What's
I'm
up?
going to start a wrestling company, and I don't care if I spend $1 million on each show because I'm super rich. So yeah. And Matthew's a good dude, man. Honestly, like I'm in his Facebook group that started out as just kind of a wrestling fan group. And now, he's got a lot of insiders in it and it's fun, but the group is actually called Matthew Mania. Like, I mean, this guy is a huge wrestling fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really, really cool to see him, and he doesn't run it on his own. He brought in some people who know the wrestling business, you know what I mean?
Good.
But it's really, really cool to see him
Mhm.
like be able to do this on that kind of a level. And they don't run shows all the time. I feel like if he really wanted to commit to it, he could put together a national wrestling show. Like I really think he could.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's up to Matthew. You know what I mean? But yeah.
If Tony Khan
Foley.
can, anybody can.
Ah,
Yeah. The dude gave me a bunch of free wrestling shirts. So
What? I need free
Very
stuff. I'm
nice.
poor.
yeah.
no.
He's like, he goes to these shows and buys extra shirts and then just gives them away to people in his group sometimes. It's
I
kind
like
of
it.
cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
free things.
Heck
Anybody
yeah.
has any free things they want to give me? You can do it.
And that, guys, that's it. That's the
Absolutely.
wrap up on the news. Hey,
Oh no, we got some breaking news, brother.
yeah,
What's going on?
Got some
breaking
breaking
news.
news.
Just breaking, yes.
just break.
Tessa
Oh,
Blanchard.
Tessa.
Oh, yes.
Tessa Blanchard with her blonde hair.
Is
Brunette.
back
Her
in
blonde
TNA.
hair.
Blonde hair.
Blonde
Oh,
Tessa is not something I had on my bingo card.
Back in
Right.
TNA.
No. Yeah, back
Yeah,
in
back in
TNA.
TNA.
Tessa
I
speaks
guess.
Spanish.
Today,
Yeah.
but
Probably.
she's not in AW.
No, she's not.
No,
I was going to say
she's not only-
MLW got Ricardo Rodriguez, and so is BRCW. You telling me that freaking AEW couldn't afford Ricardo Rodriguez?
You think?
BCRW
You
also
think.
has Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Hey, now there you go.
If you need a haircut.
Possibly the worst
Right.
legend of all time.
Worse than okay. We're gonna have to have a conversation about that next
All
week.
right. Right. I mean, I'm not a Brutus fan.
Worse
and
than
I've heard-
Layla?
Layla. Layla L?
Worse
What?
than Layla L?
Ooh,
Dude, Layla and
Hall of Famer Layla L?
Layla and
Michelle McCool?
Michelle.
McCool. Thank you, Miss Undertaker.
Talking
I like
about
their thing.
talking
I like
about
their
making a
thing.
comeback, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Keith, I'm going to kick it over to you for the roundtable.
Oh man.
Keith, if you want to
Okay.
round this
Well,
table.
let me. I don't know what the questions are, so let me get on in here.
I can
See
I can
what
pop
we-
off the first one if you'd like.
Yeah, go for it, brother.
Okay, so I like this one as well, but I suppose this is a opinion piece, right? But
More
Triple
of opinion,
H.
yeah.
exactly, Triple H, Paul Levesque, CFO of, I believe CFO, right, or COO,
Kinda her
The
template.
Neo?
some kind of
COO?
some kind of C something O.
Yeah.
Triple H believes that this era that we're in currently is better than the
Mhm.
Attitude Era was, and the Attitude Era was, if I'm not mistaken, from what year to what year? 1990.
I would say 94 to 99 ish.
Okay, and then what would you say that this era's from what to what?
That is
I
a
almost
good
imagine from the day AJ Styles, like, or maybe
Join.
he's just talking about like Triple H everything post Vince,
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what he was.
which is
getting
still early, but okay, let's go. Brent, you first.
at. Well,
Refute or deny, or can you justify his statement, or do you have
There will-
pushback?
Well, okay. My thing is there will never be another era like the Attitude Era. It was phenomenal. Okay, we
Mhm.
all know that. But it was also trashy.
Oh yeah,
There was a lot of trash and garbage in there,
Mhm.
but I still loved it. I think that this era is definitely it's living up to it. We've got great talent. The women have evolved so much. We have the women wrestling now are
That's
just
the key.
phenomenal. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I mean they are just great. So I kind of am on board with him saying that to an extent.
Okay, I
We
like
have-
that to the extent.
Yeah, a lot less raunchy,
Mhm.
than it was, but we still get that good. We get those good promos from like Braun Breaker, and still we getting CM Punk promos now. We're getting Seth Rollins who can cut promos really really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even Damien's doing pretty good at cutting promos and like
Yeah.
making himself look real and menacing. I like that. So yeah. So with your answer is in ways yes, in ways no.
yes,
Okay.
that's my belief on this current era that we're in.
Okay. And then I'll go clockwise, but Keith, how do you feel about that statement? Do you agree with the statement or do you have some pushback?
Okay, so to me, the best things about the Attitude Era were Edge and Christian
And
and
DX.
Kurt Angle. See, I love Shawn Michaels.
Mhm.
I think that DX was a little overexposed. I think Steve Austin was a little overexposed.
They did, yeah.
You know,
I get
For
that.
sure.
and I mean, I get that you fall back on things when you need the boost. You know what I mean? But like, I liked that Mick Foley got the big push. I don't think that would have happened without the Attitude Era. I don't think Edge and Christian would have got to show their personalities because they're two little smartasses, and it was funny and it was great. Um,
Shout out to the Shades, but those are something Edge and
Hey.
Christian would wear.
That's
yeah,
right.
they would have. I think that if it wasn't for the Attitude Era, if Kurt Angle had come in, he would have been more like a Bob Backlund character almost. I don't think he would have got to show everything that he could do. So that was good stuff about the Attitude Era. The
Yeah.
openness and the ability to develop characters that were a little more extreme. The bad stuff about the Attitude Era to me was like all, as a horny 20-year-old, I liked seeing chicks in their underwear, obviously. But it put women's wrestling so far back.
It did.
Like to the point where now people still think of women's wrestling as just a TNA show. You know what I mean? There are people who still don't look at women's wrestlers on an equal ground, even though at this point I feel like they've exceeded the men in a lot of ways.
I agree.
So to answer your question, I have never really been enamored with the Attitude Era. I grew up in the, when they were the cartoon era, which I loved. I loved the cartoon era. I'm not gonna lie, like I did. And then the Attitude Era came along, and I was kind of like, I got tired of it pretty quick. So for me, it's easy that this era is better. Like easy. You didn't get the matches and stuff that you get. You just didn't. There was a move set in the WWE during the Attitude Era. Like all the main eventers had a spine buster. Mm-hmm. All the main eventers had,
power bombs, something like that.
Power bombs. Thank you. Yeah, there was a certain set of moves that every high knee. Everybody in the main event did the same set of moves.
Suplex.
It was ridiculous. So
rinse, repeat.
Yeah. I like what's going on now a lot better.
All right, so I like that answer because it's not necessarily just a straight up, because I don't think it can be just a straight up. I'll give it D-Lo, I'll give you, and then I'll take the last say on this. But how do you feel, D-Lo, about the statement that Triple H believes this era is way better, not just better, way better than the Attitude Era?
I think he's mainly going to hype up his guys like right now. So I think that's what he's doing. Like, man, that's why I looked at it first initially. You want to hype up what you're doing, hype up what you created right there. And he was a part ass, but he can be a little objective. You be a little objective and say the matches weren't that great, but the characters they were like deep. They had like big cards having chance. I was watching stuff the other day, and the Godfather had a chant. I forgot I didn't even know he had one. He had a crowd lit. He said he had to roll one up, nice sticky, but you can't. You can't say it in this era. That's what some people have some issues with. But I like this
Undertaker.
era. But I like this
I,
era. This era is good. It's balanced. Not only you got dudes still killing it, but you got women that's going in like going in. You got women stars like from all over the place. So I
Yeah,
like this era a lot. And of course, the current is trying to advance to the next future. They got push energy, and it's also the money. They're
the
making like
yeah,
money.
that's
super
right.
big. Like they saying they sell out live events and stuff, and it may not have the crazy amount of signs they had back in the Attitude Era, but they still be out there. So,
A lot of people hate those guys with the signs.
yo, it was like, yo, how the heck did you see back there? I'd be so pissed off. I was in the back row. Somebody had like
For
a
real,
row of
dude.
signs. Like, yo, son,
My
put them
favorite
shits away.
my favorite thing about the
Oh,
old school games is that you could pick the sign that the people had in the background, and one of the signs says the guy behind me can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Remember
that.
that sign.
Mhm. So okay, I think everybody so many things can be true. So, so many statements can be true. Like Dave D'Lo, I do believe that Triple H is hyping his guys up, and then I also agree with Brent and Keith with the fact that there were bits and pieces, aspects of both of Attitude Era that was better, but I 100% agree. One specifically being that women's matches actually matter in this era. Not only do they matter, but
Absolutely.
they're the main event sometimes.
Yeah.
And Lord knows we didn't have that. It was infamous, like Alundra Blaze throwing her title in the trash because that's what they thought of it. And
right.
just having. But the fact that Raw last week was the best Raw I've seen in years, and I don't think we would have gotten that type of show under Vince. I don't think we would have gotten that type of show where every single thing mattered.
Right.
We would have had two fluff matches between some sort of jobber and another, what, like a Pat Tanaka.
Right.
Like we'll have,
Yeah.
like respect, like to these other wrestlers back then, but they had better stars back then. I'd say maybe bigger stars at the very, very top, but in nowadays, the entire roster is strong. That's why a lot of it is the issue about like AEW and even in ways WWE where there's an embarrassment of riches and how do you get so many people on, like,
Right.
but back then Attitude Era was like, okay, we'll feature Triple H this week or not Stone Cold, or then we'll just have a tag with both of them to get them both in, or like, we'll make sure that we show Goldberg squashing somebody or whatever it's this, or we'll have a raunchy joke about
Hot dogs.
some sort of exactly.
One thing I'll say, anything to do with Mick Foley during the Attitude Era was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think Mick
Agreed.
Foley transcends his eras. I think he would have been
Yeah.
fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure.
Look, I
Yeah.
can see that. I can see that. Well, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, I think Triple H isn't out of pocket for saying that. So many old schoolers and so many people that are just like, like my father would be. My father would be like one of those backyard fans where he's like, oh, I heard about these guys here and there. It's like, oh, the people that are just purists would just imagine that attitude. No, I think we right now, at this very moment, we are at the peak of wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Wrestling has been fantastic for the past 2-3 years.
It's can't miss. It's can't miss right now. Like if you miss a week, you're going to be so far behind and you're going to be upset because now it's taking the world by storm because people on YouTube are getting big now and they're showing them on the episodes now. It's like
the one cool thing that's coming from the Netflix is it's going to be able to reach people who's never been able to watch it before. And I think that's going to just increase it and make it even better. So people can bash on Netflix all they want.
Netflix did well with they did well with the One Piece because they put so much money into that, and then I imagine it brought a lot more eyes to the actual product. So, but Keith, do you want to take the next one? If we were gonna, all right,
sure. So after what was it, 2 or 3,
wasn't even.
long, hard weeks of being away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony Storm
Comes
made
out
her
of
triumphant return.
Stormed
comes out of
back.
retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Tony
don't know
Storm
if,
is out of retirement after not even a month.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
6
called
5
this
days
the week
out.
it happened.
Total
I think
Oh,
work.
me too.
if we
Yeah.
go back, I think we've called this like that stupid little band-aid, that Nelly band-aid that she always did or whatever.
Yeah. Give that Tony.
So, Tilo, what do you think about Tony Storm being back as her original persona, I guess?
6 5 6 lives, and I'm ready for Mariah and Tony. Yes.
Is that what we're getting? You think?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Grand
it's coming.
Slam, huh?
But I think they're gonna. They might have to wait.
Yeah. I think her and Rosa they going at the pay-per-view. So
Thunder Rosa, yeah.
So they're gonna delay that thing for a little minute. So.
Thunder Rosa against Thunder Thighs was gonna be a monster.
Having a
match.
crazy good match. That was a crazy good match. Yeah, they did have a good match.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with it.
Right on. Pablo, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
I think it's bad because using retirement as a way to reinvent yourself is a tired gimmick. Brett Favre did it, Michael Jordan did it,
Brett Favre.
Tom Brady did it, Gronkowski did it. Like we can't see it no more. Gronkowski, former 24/7 champion,
Yeah.
aka the guy who got that security worker at WrestleMania fired. Because she wasn't in on it and she was just doing her job well.
Oh,
But
man.
I personally think that this is not a good idea because it takes away a lot of sting from, like, I don't know if she'll have, personally I don't feel like she has the momentum she had when she was Timeless Tony Storm coming back as this tired NXT Tony Storm. Because this is what she was during NXT and she was gone. The reason why she had to do this timeless thing is because, like, so I seen something where they said maybe she'll go back and forth between the two. Like she'll have like a bipolar
schizophrenia or
thing.
something.
Oh, like a Finn
Yeah,
Balor,
personality.
like a Finn Balor type.
Hey, respect to the schizophrenics out there.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Like,
I was
like,
saying like a split
Yeah.
personality.
Oh no,
Like like
That
a
was
Finn
a-
Balor type thing where he goes back and forth between him and the Demon Finn.
oh, you mean like once every 3 years to lose this mojo?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Brent, what are your thoughts, buddy? Oh, sorry, Pablo, were you done? I'm sorry, man.
Oh no, yeah, I was just gonna say that that's my feeling. I think I don't like them using retirement as a way to change your persona.
Yeah,
I think
that's-
it
it's-
it takes the sting out of what it means to actually put your boots up and retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry. Nowadays, I don't take any kind of like wrestling retirement serious unless they leave those boots in that ring.
Like the Logan Paul thing. Can we even take it as a real
Right.
thing, or is he just
Right,
getting himself some
right.
heat?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as far as Tony Storm goes, she's still going to lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she'll lose to Mina.
She might.
Oh. Anytime.
So my personal take on it is she looks a lot better now. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch AEW much at all, so
I do
I've
my
always
best.
thought Tony Storm was pretty good. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I knew that it wasn't a real retirement from the beginning. She never actually left. She was still doing vignettes. You know what I mean? She was still
Yeah.
freaking, she was still around. So I knew it wasn't a real retirement from the beginning. They definitely could have done something different. Maybe ever get bonked on the head and then she comes back as Tony Storm. I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I will say for free that I'm going to start a petition for Keith never to use the word visionette again.
Yeah, I was like,
It's a vignette.
It's a vignette.
It's a
Really?
vignette.
Oh, well,
Don't you know?
upstate New York, baby. They
Don't
don't
you
really
know
teach us how to
G's are
talk right.
silent? G's are silent like
Hey,
lasagna.
Vignette, baby. Vignette.
No. Have you ever heard Lil Wayne? Grilled cheese move in silence like lasagna.
Okay, apparently I just found out that you don't pronounce Viginette the way that I pronounce it.
Just gaslighted me into oblivion.
Well, dag nabbit. I also say Oregon and elementary.
And we
So
and also we are never to use the word decimate on this podcast.
right, apparently we used the word decimate wrong. I didn't even remember us using the word decimate, but
We decimated the English language just right now.
yeah, decimated the English language. So I'm gonna start a vignette right now about the winged eagle belt.
Yeah.
Heading back to Saturday night's main event, it looks like they're going to be bringing it back at least for that night. I don't know if Cody's going to be carrying it around all the time, but Cody Rhodes will be wearing the winged eagle belt on Saturday night's main event, apparently.
Yeah.
Pablo, what are you thinking about that, bud?
Well, first it was mentioned or it was teased because Cody had a vignette or some sort of promo where Triple H gave him like a bag that had, and then Cody looked inside of it and it was like gold. So at first I thought it was the big gold, but then I realized it was like, no, because Gunther has something that looks exactly like the big gold.
Right.
So the fact that it's the winged eagle, made famous by Shawn Michaels,
Hogan
Bret
and
Hart,
Savage.
whomever. Hogan, Savage, yeah. So it's like literally iconic. And is it just only going to represent Cody Rhodes' title, or are they not going to do the same thing for Gunther title, or is it just that Cody's going to be on it? So that's all that mattered. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I guess Cody was pushing for it, so it's kind of a reward for him. So
I like the thought of alternate belts, kind of like or titles, alternate titles instead, kind of like alternate jerseys in football.
Yeah,
like why not just randomly bring out like the old title that they had before, or like why do they do that with the Intercontinental one day and to be like, oh, just bring back the big one, or bring back the one that looks like a football that I really liked.
do the Smoking Skull title.
Can I complain about alternate jerseys for a minute?
Okay.
So I'm
Which
a basketball
ones exactly?
fan. I've been a basketball fan for a while. When I was a kid, the alternate jerseys were a colored one for away and a white one for home. Right. And that's all there was. The Lakers had purple and gold. They were the only team that didn't have a white jersey for home. Now, the jerseys, they're just a different color. Like, it's irritating to me. Well, I can't tell who the freaking home team and who the away team is because they don't have the white freaking home jerseys anymore. It drives me crazy. I'm an old man. I don't freaking like it.
Okay. I get what you mean, though.
Jerseys.
I say you don't like the neon greens out there with the Timberwolves.
Dude, the colors are fine, but I'm used to I just started watching basketball again a couple years ago because my son got into it, and I'm like, who's the freaking home team?
Well, now they have the colored courts, and that looks crazy.
Yeah, the colored courts are cool.
The Warriors the Warriors against the Rockets. Steve Kerr was like, I felt like I was descending into hell.
Have you seen the courts for the freaking
the
Emirates Cup? Oh my Lord, those things are nuts.
Yeah,
Keith is not allowed. That's his gimmick. Keith is not allowed to pronounce any hard words ever again.
Yeah, dude, I can't pronounce that word. I knew I was going to pronounce it wrong, dude. I was 100% sure I was pronouncing it wrong.
Emirates.
How do you say it? Emirates. Okay, the Emirates Cup.
Yeah, he said Emiratis like it's an Egyptian god.
It is an Egyptian god. The Emiratis Cup. The Emiratis Cup.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, those courts are nuts.
Yeah, they're insane.
Freaking crazy, man.
So
it's like watching a Technicolor cartoon.
No, you are right.
Yeah.
No. Who was on this? Who was on the winged belt?
D'Lo. Either D'Lo or Brant, whoever wants to go.
Because me and Keith already had mentioned.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the belt. It looks nice. So I wish they could do it for all the belts, for also for the other ones too. But for the since it's a Saturday night special for one night only, shit. But I think it was like he said. I think it was like a personal thing. Like, he wanted something to like the old school feel. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll give you the old school feel, Cody. I'll give you that one." So yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, that's a special request.
There's a lot to look forward to on that, but that's one of the least that I actually would even care about. But it is a pretty cool thing
It's cool.
because
Yeah.
it's
That
an
gives you a
ode
little-
to
like
something
you know,
older.
like see the old school icy tile and the old US tile. You know,
Yeah,
the
you get a
old
little bit of
tag titles were the old tag titles were ugly, so we don't need any part of
yeah.
those.
You don't need to see the
Nah,
old
they're
tag
not the
tile.
worst ones
Those
though.
things were
Those
not
The
attractive.
first
Those-
ones, maybe
the tag
first
titles
brand,
with
when
the
heart
Spartan
does.
heads were
I'm
Oh,
like,
those
those
were
ones?
awful.
I
The
kind
ones
of
that
like
were,
those ones.
they were
I
bronze.
didn't like the freaking the ones that Demolition had. Those bulky,
The
like,
blue with the red, and
oh, those things were ugly, dude, and they had them forever.
not as bad as those Spartan tag titles, man. Those
Yeah,
were
that's
terrible.
them penny tiles, boy. That's them penny tiles.
They did look like pennies. That is true.
Then yeah, the
Copper belts.
ones that
Copper belt.
the Bludgeon Brothers would carry around, and the New Day
Yeah.
had for a while,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're terrible.
and then the SmackDown ones were
Penny
silver
and-
and blue. It was weird.
Yeah.
right.
The penny
Right.
and nickels. That's what I call.
Yeah, penny and nickels.
Hilarious.
But yeah, I think it's awesome
Brett,
that
what you thinking?
they're bringing the wing title back at least for one night. I mean, gives a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of a throwback to the old school days. We'll see how Cody if he wears it out there, or if he's just going to be carrying it, or if they're just going to have it on display. So we'll see. But it's still really cool.
So this isn't on the thing, but since we've talked about Saturday Night's Main Event so much, what do you guys think about how they're using it as to promote it like it's a throwback show?
I like it.
Yeah, right on.
All right, I like it. And then on NBC too.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
for Sunday Night Heat.
Ah, on MTV, baby.
Yeah,
You know what I would like?
Follow up TRL, baby.
Monday
I would have
night,
liked
a
more.
a Monday Nitro.
Yeah.
I think that would be nice, like Velocity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
What I would like,
Metal.
I would have liked for Saturday Night Main Event to just be the go home show instead.
That would be cool. But
Yeah.
I do like the retro if they make it have like because you can even do it in the WWE 2K games where you can have like the different like TV quality. It almost looks like picture quality is different because
Oh,
like
wow.
almost making it more retro looking.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And that was one of
Who's
the
other
really cool
commentator?
things. Aside from Jesse,
yeah.
obviously not his former.
Yeah, not Monsoon or Heenan.
No,
not
it'd been
Vince either.
awesome, man. I wish those guys
Or
were still
Vince.
around.
I would have
Love
loved
both
for
of
him
them.
to just bully Vince again. He used to just
Yeah.
bully
Yeah.
Vince in the commentary booth, and I was like, finally somebody bullies. He's like, just you're the kid,
What?
you're the owner's kid,
Yeah.
you snot nosed kid. And I'm like,
Yeah, no Vince, no Heenan, no Monsoon. There really isn't anybody else left, from the old
Right.
school guy.
Yeah,
And you have to have somebody next to Ventura to keep
Of
him.
course. Yeah.
it might be CM
They could-
Punk. We don't know.
Ooh,
They can
wow,
pull up
I'd love.
Schiavone,
Could
offer
you
him a
imagine
few
him and
bucks.
Could you imagine him and CM Punk commentating together? It'd be pretty good.
Oh man.
They
Yeah.
both are the
But
same.
you
though.
need a play-by-play guy. That's the thing. Yeah, you need a
Yeah.
play-by-play guy.
Yeah,
They
because
should,
they-
they should see if Tony Khan will loan him Tony Schiavone for one night.
Schiavone.
I'm just triggers activated.
That's what Jesse used to call him. Jesse used to be like Tony Schiavone.
That's
what
right,
Jesse used
Schiavone.
to call him.
New ick unlocked.
I ain't never heard that thing. I was like,
That's wild. All right, well,
All
we're
right.
looking forward to it. It is tomorrow, so I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to do my best to check it out. I'm working that night, but
I'm
Hey.
off that day.
I get
Shout
off
out
at
to a new
7,
Thank
so
God.
I should be able to watch it.
I'll be there live.
Yeah, I'll be checking it out for sure.
On
Oh, you
going to
NBC,
see it?
baby. Free TV.
Hell yeah,
Nice.
David's going to the show.
We're making
That's
Free
awesome,
TV,
dude.
yo.
we're making a good time, but we are coming up on the hour mark, and we are two.
Yeah, we'll get this wrapped up real
Yeah.
quick.
Oh,
So, here's a two-parter. Who is Ryan Nemeth,
Hmm.
and why is Joe Hendry still in the title picture in TNA? Brett, you can go ahead and kick this one off.
Who is Ryan Nemeth? I mean,
Oh.
Damn.
I mean, he's Nick Nemeth's brother.
So okay, let's get to the second part, and then I'll come back to the Ryan Nemeth part. Okay. So TNA pushing Joe Hendry. I think that's about to come to an end. We'll see. It's going to be better than a guy named Top Dollar.
You know, AJ Franchini.
Right.
Yeah. But anyways,
Franchini.
so I think the reason they're pushing him is they're trying to squeeze every bit of money that they can get out of Joe Hendry that they can before his contract is up.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the Royal
to me
Rumble.
Makes dollars and cents. Huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Ryan Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's little brother.
Right.
Nick
Right.
Nemeth, you know.
Why was he in the news this week? Didn't he say something about Joe Hendry squashed his push or something weird like that?
Yeah, he also blamed CM Punk
Push.
for him not getting his pushes either, which I don't know how
Push.
that is.
Sounds
But
like a bitter
whatever.
dude. Who
Well,
doesn't realize that he looks like his brother, but he doesn't have his charisma.
Not even a smidge of that charisma, you know.
funny thing is, Dolph doesn't even have that much charisma for somebody who's literally his whole gimmick is being charismatic.
So the question was, who is Ryan Nemeth?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck,
Yeah.
excuse me, I don't know.
All right. D'Lo.
Pablo, what do you think
Or me?
about those?
Okay.
Oh yeah, Pablo, go for it, man. We'll let D'Lo
All
wrap
right.
it up.
Well, I'll answer them in order, I suppose. Ryan Nemeth is technically was a part of the Premier Athletes, I believe. Which is just another faction name for Jobbers United. Or Jobbers Incorporated with Tony Nese and what was it? Arya Davari?
Yeah.
Am I the only person who doesn't realize
Smart Mark.
who doesn't notice that Tony Nese and Bobby Fish look like the same human being?
They so do, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's
No.
scary.
I
when you
ain't
step-
know
When they were on the
That's
indies, I used to confuse them.
I just watched Bobby Fish have a match against Alex Kane, and Bobby
Yeah.
Fish is bald with a
Well,
mustache.
okay, so when they were young, they looked
Oh, yeah. Oh,
exactly
no, of
the
course.
same.
Of course, yeah.
They looked exactly the same. When they were on the indies, I used to confuse them all the time.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, speaking of people that look exactly the same, Nick Nemeth is Ryan Nemeth's older brother. And Ryan Nemeth was I believe he's in the news because he blamed CM Punk for getting him silently fired. I think a lot of it was because it was there was a tweet that Ryan Nemeth put out, which shout out to Twitter being the main reason people are losing jobs in 2024.
Yeah.
But he called CM Punk the softest man on earth. But Ryan Nemeth, he said literally the softest man alive, but Nemeth said he was quote unquote in character when he did it.
Maybe he was talking about his hugs.
No, he was talking about the torn tricep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Too late.
But he
Can't back up and say it was about his hugs.
Yeah, but the thing is though, so in June they mentioned that apparently CM Punk threatened him threatened Nemeth in the locker room for that tweet or whatever, but because it was a couple of days earlier that Nemeth put out that tweet, and then Punk apparently, who the locker room bully that he is, he went after him, and then Ryan Nemeth pretty much blames CM Punk for losing the push he never got.
Yeah.
Even though at the time, it did look like they were showing him more. And then the whole
Right.
thing with Hendry and Ryan Nemeth became a thing because Hendry made a song about the only reason why we know Ryan Nemeth is because he's Nick Nemeth's brother. Where it literally went, he's Nick Nemeth's brother. And then it just ended. And Joe Hendry, I feel like, they are trying to get as much money and maybe a few more songs out of him, but I also think that they realized that they messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Because one, because Nick Nemeth loses nothing from losing the title
Nothing.
because he's still a main event guy and he can still win it back again, maybe a year later or a few months later and still be relevant. He could even go after the X Division title and make it the best title in sports.
Oh yeah, he could.
Because a worker like Dolph Ziggler in an X Division or in that X match, the Ultimate X match, imagine.
Oh, phenomenal.
He'd probably like he'd zigzag somebody from off of it, and it would be one of the most amazing spots. It's like,
yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ryan Nemeth is being, he's being a little bit sour, and I think he just has to go out and show why he has to be on TV, and hopefully him and Joe Hendry lead to something. But I don't think it would. But he physically submitted a complaint about the incident with CM Punk, so I think that's why he was in the news.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll send it.
All right, D'Lo, what do you think, brother?
Yeah. Whom is Ryan Nemeth? I only know him from like two reasons. Dolph's brother, obviously. And when he was in AEW, I remember him winning with Peter Avalon, and I remember him getting destroyed by Lance Archer that one time. I think that powerbomb was like really wicked.
Yeah.
I remember that significant moment. I was like, damn. He probably I said, damn, I know he think about his entire career at that point. I was like, damn, that powerbomb looked like it hurt like hell. So,
here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing
that's the only thing I know him
makes
for.
not to interrupt you. This is the thing that makes him different from Nick Nemeth, really. Which I love that we refer to him as his WWE name and not his actual name. But that shows you.
Shit.
Yeah.
That shows you how big Nick, WWE is. That we still call John Moxley Dean Ambrose sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't think Nemeth is willing to do what Dolph had to do.
Right.
Like, getting poop poured onto you
Yeah.
with Vince McMahon next to you and like being in the Spirit Squad and getting like thrown in the air like a rag doll.
Right.
Or having to take a finisher from Viscera.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The
most protected finisher. The I don't even know what to call it. The V Daddy special.
Daddy special. Oh man.
But
so
yeah,
D'Lo, what you thinking about the Joe Hendry push?
But Joe Hendry, I think they keep that man warm. I'm surprised they kept this man warm for so long. But he, I think people could just get behind him because he's like a big baby face, and they wanted to find one the big ball. Well, it's kind of similar to Cody Rhodes in a European kind of way, or English kind of way, since he is from England. But they're gonna like keep building him up to like have that crown that big moment, and whenever that happens, people are gonna be like, "Oh, Joe Hendry, let's make side to side," and all that fun stuff. They're gonna be lit.
But how long does it take?
Yeah.
But how long? This is the thing, though. I want to pose a question to you. How long does that take before it starts to be just drawn out? Because remember, the Cody Rhodes thing got really drawn out by the time he was tag champions with Jey Uso that one time, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I lost all interest in a Cody run.
Yeah,
like after he lost in WrestleMania and then just started to do random stuff in order to legitimize himself.
Right. That's what I was saying. I would say it's usually like 6 months. So we add that 6 month point.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So like, if you want to keep him warm, you gotta keep him like warm. He gotta come out the Rumble. You know what I'm
this is where the poop or get off the pot comes from.
Absolutely. Right. I have one question about it. So if Joe Hendry goes to WWE, will we see them push him to the moon?
When?
If they're smart. Yeah.
Smart.
It's a when.
If I'm Triple H or one of those guys in the back, I'm strapping a rocket to him and sending him straight to the moon, and he will be Universal or World Heavyweight Champion. The guy is so over.
Here's my thing, though.
He's going to be Elijah.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, though, right?
Eli.
Here's my thing about that.
What was his name?
I feel like it was already written in the stars because they did the same thing with Jordynne Grace.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jordynne Grace, especially the fact that she's losing like week after week and she'll lose to Rosemary, I believe, on her way out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because Masha against Rosemary is their new thing. But
right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the whole. He's the most organic, best face they have, and they can't get rid of him. But they also, I don't know if they don't feel it's time yet to take it off of Nick Nemeth because he's on a world tour. He's literally like he's the hottest thing
with Muhammad, my man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that reference.
Thanks, man. And Elias was the name that I was bouncing around my head.
But no, he technically became Elijah, didn't he?
Did he become
Ezekiel.
Elijah?
Oh, he became Ezekiel. I'm sorry.
He's now Elijah. His name is Elijah in the Indies.
Is it? Okay. Dude had so many names. Anyway,
I thought that gimmick of him being Ezekiel and not Elias was actually going to work.
Yeah, it was funny.
That's how gullible I think wrestling fans are, to be honest. We really are.
But yeah, so my take on the whole thing is basically I don't care about Ryan Nemeth.
There you
go. I know that CM Punk is a jerk. You know what I mean? Like and the thing that's funny is every backstage fight that he's ever started, he's lost. So that's another thing that's pretty funny. Like Teddy Hart kicked his ass at a Denny's. So it's like, and he also in the early days of TNA lost a fight at a bar to someone, I don't remember who it was, but somebody who was on the roster with him beat him up at a bar. So CM Punk, he's got a long history of rubbing people the wrong way. I'm not surprised that he had problems with Ryan Nemeth. But I don't necessarily care. Take care of your business, whatever, but I don't think Ryan Nemeth's ever going to amount to much in the wrestling business, man. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
He's not willing to do the little things that Nick Nemeth. I can already tell from the way his attitude was about this whole thing.
Yeah,
you can tell that he wasn't going to.
Yeah, and as far as we talked about this, I feel like Mike Santana and Steve Maclin have already surpassed Joe Hendry on the contenders list.
For sure, Steve Maclin.
Yeah. I think that they're just keeping Joe Hendry in the main events, like you guys were saying, to get a rub out of his name. Like Joe Hendry's in this high-profile match. People are going to come. They're going to watch it because maybe he'll win. You know what I mean? Maybe he can keep the hope alive. But I think Maclin is probably winning this number one contenders gimmick
I'd say
what's the next one coming up?
Yeah. The way they've built him and how he's been looking like a winner this entire time, I think it's definitely the case.
I agree.
Yeah. So the last thing, this was my pick. So cool. I get to pick a topic, baby. There's a kid who some of you guys may have heard of named Carson Drake.
I've saw him.
Oh,
gosh. Times.
He is the new NWA World Television Title, NWA champion. I mean, NWA doesn't even have TV, which is neither here nor there. But he beat Max the Impaler. For those of you who don't know Max is a tough human. They're non-binary, so I'm being correct here. But Max has been a star on the Indies for a while. They held that TV title for a long time. But I have kind of a cool story about Carson. A few years back, him and I were just talking on Facebook Messenger. I was promoting at the time. I don't even remember if he was reaching out to me for bookings or if he was just kind of talking to me because I, had one of the bigger promotions in the area at the time. And he was telling me how he just quit his shoot job. And he had decided that he was either going to make a living as a pro wrestler or he wasn't going to do it anymore. And he told me how much he was charging as a minimum, and it was criminally low. Like, I'm gonna be honest. But he was like, I'm going to try to wrestle 5 days a week. There are promotions that run 5 days a week. And if I get at least this much money, I'll make what I'm making at my shoot job. And then I can go up from there. And clearly that plan worked. As someone who's watched his progress, I'm super proud of everything he's done. And basically, I just want to get your guys' opinion on Carson Drake winning this NWA title, really committing to it. You know what I mean? And doing what needed to be done. You know, it's a super contrast to Ryan Nemeth, I guess. You know what I mean? Pablo, what do you think, brother?
Well, shout out to Carson Bartholomew Drake, because I have been watching this feud, and this is not the first time he and Max the Impaler have gotten into it. You know, Max the Impaler with James Cameron. And the match they had was what was it, a Hell Inside Hell match or something? It was like a specific gimmick that was Max the Impaler's
specialty.
Yeah, but the self-professed most successful man in NWA is the most vanilla-looking good boy.
Yeah,
The most good boy, like, has the plain blue trunks, looks like Bob Backlund, like was copy and pasted in Create a Wrestler in WWE 2K25. Literally his gimmick is just that he's a good old boy, and it's adorable. A little humor in NWA is never bad, especially considering that Max Impaler looks like the devil's nightmare.
Yeah.
This person, they are intimidating looking, to say the least. And then you have little Carson Drake, but I think they did a really good job. I think he can do so much. He's fun to watch. I think he would be an amazing heel as well.
Yeah.
Kind of with that New Day gimmick where, like, I'm better than you because I'm a nice person. Like, kind of like me in real life. But like, to be honest, I think NWA with their new batch of champions, I think they're going to be fun to watch, and people should start watching them. I follow them on Instagram, so they always come up on my feed, and I've watched Power for a while, so shout out to them. And yes, shout out to him because he deserved it, because the amount of beatings he was taking. This congratulations to CBD, and hopefully he has some beautiful things in the future.
Yeah. So Brett, what's your thoughts, man?
Man, I really like Carson Drake. I saw him a couple times over the summer, and man, he's good. A lot of attitude from the kid, you know, real nice backstage guy, you know, but in the ring, it's a different story with him. He is arrogant, cocky, great wrestler. Kid's got a bright future. If I didn't know any better, we should indie spotlight him this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really good. And I hope that he reaches the pinnacle of where he can and get himself in a good situation with, you know, someone who's like televised deal, you know, and maybe get into NXT or something like that, because the kid would shine. He would shine.
Yeah. Oh, if I could, because I made a boo-boo. It's not James Cameron, the person who did Avatar.
I thought maybe he just had a new gimmick.
Father James Mitchell, you know, known as being Abyss's former handler, known as being, you know, literally the handler of monsters. So, and it was a Hell Awaits match.
Yes.
That was what it was.
Known for the yayo.
Tony, get the yayo.
All right, Elo, what are you thinking about Carson Drake, man?
I'm not really familiar with him. It's my first little experience with him, but I looked him up, and like Paula did took what I was about to say. He does like a clean cut baby face, just like peppy smiley. He's all that. He got a little scar. Like
exactly.
And then like he just won the title, like y'all just you just said he won an NWA title. So congrats to that. Television title, which shouldn't it be
should be the X title.
Yeah.
Kind of their mid-card title, kind of the one that looks like the United States.
Yeah, it looks just like it's the old TV title though, like the one that Arn Anderson had.
But they just made it way bigger.
Yeah,
way bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, because they always all their titles look silver except for the big gold belt.
Right.
Kind of silver.
Yeah,
But
the silver with the red looks really, really good.
The 10
Yeah, it's a
pounds.
pretty title for sure.
Yeah, kids happy.
All right.
yeah.
Happy.
Look, congrats to him, and he's from Cincinnati, so congrats.
He is trained at APW out there.
Holler. APW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out to Cincinnati.
We got
yeah, we gonna get into weekly shows or upcoming pay-per-views, pay-per-view results? How are we gonna roll with this?
you want to do what we did last week, whereas we kind of go through what happened during Raw, like the important parts of each show, and then kind of highlight things that we liked about it.
That'd be better.
Yeah,
I can read them off. I can read off certain like things fast. I don't know which one of us wants to do it, but I can.
Go ahead.
It's fine. I got it open.
The only stuff that I watched was TNA and NXT, so that's what I've got to talk about.
That works. We'll talk about the rest, and then me and you will chop it up about those two as well.
Right.
So let's do this. Raw results, okay? So these are things that came up, and then we'll just talk about things that caught our eye. Match-wise, these are the matches that happened. I'm steaming because of this one, but let's go to it. The Final Testament being Authors of Pain, Karrion Kross, and The Miz with their two silent managers faced off against the Wyatt Six, being all four of the male wrestlers: Bo Dallas, Rowan, Gacy, and Loomis. My favorite, Loomis. And shout out to a returning Paul Ellering. Shout out to you, family friend. But because of Paul Ellering, we got the defeat of Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy took the pin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, Karrion Kross pinned Uncle Howdy, first time ever. Then what happened after that is that Liv Morgan against Wildman's favorite, Dakota Kai, in a non-title match. Obvious shenanigans and obvious Oblivion spot.
That Oblivion was kind of not a good Oblivion. She messed it up bad.
It wasn't. A lot of it wasn't good, is because you saw it coming a mile away, because Dakota, postured herself on the ropes for it. It's just like, it's too situational. It's too situational. She needs another finisher.
Oh, but that second one she hit was phenomenal.
Yeah, but she still needs something that's more believable than
it's like top rope hurricanranas.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let me put my legs inside before you flip me over, and
hey, yo, that is diabolical work on a Friday morning. Speaking of, Lyra Valkyria defeats Ivy Nile and Zelina Vega in a triple threat championship tournament. Again, I already called that, Lyra. So we also did get a wave goodbye by Zelina Vega, which was taken out of context.
It was. She's still under contract, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, she is. And she's staying.
She's just saying goodbye to the people in the crowd because she lost.
What?
And then one other thing that happened that was important is that Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez in the Battle of the R's.
I saw some highlights. That looked freaking like a sick match, dude.
It was an anything goes match. It was called Anything Goes. Yeah. So pretty much a no DQ match. I don't know why they had to name it Anything Goes, because a no DQ match is pretty much anything goes, you would imagine.
Well, I tell you what, the women were running the show on Monday night. That's for sure. 3 out of 4 matches.
And they will be. They will be for the rest of the year and next year to come, because we're going to get a batch of NXT women's wrestlers that are way better than anything we've seen before.
Man, it's gonna be great.
One other thing that did happen that was very important is that the New Day came out and got booed out of the country. They did the what was that? There was another big promo where the guy was like, if you don't stop. It was kind of like when Joe Budden, shout out to Joe Budden, another successful podcast, but he got pretty much upset about him and Hitman Holla, and Hitman Holla made that statement about him beating up women, and then he said, if you guys don't stop booing, I'm just gonna walk out. So New Day pretty much took their cards and took their ball and went home, because Big E obviously is the biggest babyface in the world right now. And
Oh yeah.
Without ever wrestling, dude. Hasn't
Mhm.
wrestled in how many years? No, he's
That's how you get somebody over. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are the important things. I might be missing one or two other things, but those are the important things that happened. And Keith, if you want to start off, what popped out to you?
Well, like I said, I did see highlights of that match with Raquel and Rhea, and it was brutal, man. Like, say what you will about Raquel. I mean, I know sometimes she might be a little boring or whatever, but
I love her.
watching two big impressive looking women or two big impressive looking men, either way, but watching them like throw each other through stuff and beat the hell out of each other is always entertaining. So
I'm glad you
That was
brought that
crazy.
back. I'm glad you. All right, Brent. Before Keith
was-
says anything else, suspect.
nothing I say is suspect. You guys just twist my words, man.
Look, I've always been impressed with
The suspect is on the run.
Raquel.
Suspect
Raquel
is running from
Rodriguez is
accountability.
Ever since I saw pictures or video of her carrying around Braun Strowman on her like he's a paperweight.
Yeah.
Chick special, man. She needs a persona, but she's
Yeah.
special. I was
We agree on
disappointed in the first match with the Wyatt Six and the Final Testament. Not totally disappointed, but I was glad that they didn't bury Final Testament because that, you guys know that's exactly what would have happened if they would have went the other route. They would have buried them.
Well,
So that was a good thing.
I'll respond to it when I speak. But yeah,
And as far as the other matches, I mean, they were good, but I do like that Lyra got another win. So yeah,
I like that.
it was
D-Lo.
it's good.
It
If
was
there's
soft
any-
show all around. I forgot Damian Priest. Now he's back to the three-way dance. It's now
Yeah,
three-way.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they
I was
did have a
surprised.
yeah.
I
They
wouldn't be
had
surprised, but
Mhm.
I guess they want to extend the Finn and DP thing. Like I kind of suggested they gonna extend that thing a little bit. They gonna try to stretch it to the WrestleFest. So,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the night it kind of went well. Liv got the win. Got to build her up. Had EO come out. They're building that up too. That little moment face off. And then EO got her look back later tonight in the main event. So they're building that one up. The Final Testament, they needed to win. I think they needed that win way more than the Y6. I
They
think
did.
Mm.
They
So I
did.
think that's why they went that route. They needed that one more because I don't think they really won much ever since they
Not
came up
really.
as a crew. So
Yeah.
they needed that one more. So I ain't mad at it, and they gotta have Uncle Howdy go through some shit. They gotta have that man go through some shit. I ain't gonna lie. So because
I
even
hear
they
you.
just been having just entrance, be spooky, and then just kick ass.
Yep.
Laura going to win. I predict they going to win. She might win a tournament with Lord Dakota Kai. I think that might be the finals.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
That'd be a good match.
so I wouldn't mind that. And then main event, it was cool. It was not as good as their last one, the Saturday match. It was good as it was. And I ain't gonna lie to you, Rhea had her brother bricked up, bro. Them picks was jiggling. I was like, damn.
Bricked
I ain't
up
seen
like
her
a
raw in
wall.
year. It was worth the wait.
Bricked up
Whoever
like that.
told her to change from the trunks to the gear,
Man.
I hope they got a good raise because
Bricked up like that girl with the lump on her head,
hey,
which was an
I
allergic
need to
reaction.
go
It
to
wasn't
Australia. I need
Jada.
to go to Australia.
I seen some rugby matches, and I was like, yeah, they got some good crowds over there. Okay, so if it's my turn, I will say that
Yeah.
one, I do believe that Lyra Valkyria is literally what this championship, like a wrestler like her, is what this championship is made for. And if Natalia doesn't win the other one, which I figure she would be the workhorse one, where she's the elder statesman, but also you want to
Chelsea
give
Green,
somebody-
baby.
I still
yeah.
I would like
Chelsea
Chelsea Green
Green.
to be, and I think that she can make
That's tough.
anybody look good in beating her.
Oh yeah.
I think Lyra Valkyria will win this championship. I believe.
I think that Lyra has earned it.
I think so. Yeah.
She's been phenomenal since she's came over from NXT. I mean, she was great in NXT. She comes over here and she's just running with it.
She had a good run as the title holder in NXT, and I think she could be a really good mid card title holder. I will say though, for a fact that one, I do love the New Day heat because it makes Big E, like you said, it makes Big E that big of a babyface before he even comes back. So they're pretty much doing this to facilitate Big E coming back and being a champion again. Which, if he does come back, I would love him to be a champion again because pick up where you left off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, sorry.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, I hated the decision for Uncle Howdy to take the pin.
5 years.
I am 100% so against.
Yeah, go for sure.
Shout out to Paul Ellering for coming back and throwing the powder in Uncle Howdy's face, even though Uncle Howdy has so much hair in his face that he probably didn't even get in his eyes.
It was cocaine.
Is that?
It was cocaine.
Well, then he should have gotten
the white stuff.
Went and visited James Mitchell.
He would have kicked out at 1 if it was cocaine. He would have kicked out at 1. Shout out to live radio. But if I'm being honest, I do feel as if one of the other guys, Gacy, take that pin. No. I understand that you got to make Karrion Kross look good because he's the head, right? And you are right about the fact that if Final Testament lost this one, that would have been however many in a row that they've just lost a feud. They are going to lose this feud at some point, but they'll draw it out because the optics look good. They look like they're meant to fight each other. Like I said, I was hoping that it would have been later on in each of their lives as wrestlers, but I think Uncle Howdy taking the pin makes me remember he's Bo Dallas, and it takes away the mystique of the entire faction. The entire faction looks.
Wait, Uncle Howdy's Bo Dallas?
Well, that's what Chad Gable said, at least.
Whoa.
Chad Gable did say that.
So those are the things I love the most about what happened. I love that New Day has nuclear heat. And I feel like it'll lead to all three of them having bigger careers. They made the hard decision. And then the thing I do not like was that they took away the mystique of a quote unquote Undertaker type character that we all know is just a B team player.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to remember. You know what I'm saying? I wanted there to be a little bit of mystique, but
was the first pin he had on him since 5 years?
How many pins has he had?
Yeah, it's been a long time, man.
How many times has Uncle Howdy won?
Actually been right.
Well,
exactly. You got to make him a winner before you remember that he's a loser.
Well, they kind of did the same thing with Brock when he came back. He hadn't been pinned in like 15, 17 years, something ridiculous like that. They made a big deal out of it.
He hasn't wrestled in 10.
Yeah, exactly.
But it makes it seem like they have to bring somebody else in now to actually be the head because he's not a leader. Bo Dallas is not a leader. He's not a leader of men. Oh my God. NXT.
Push the wheel to Gacy.
Has anybody seen NXT? Or should we just speak about Deadline first and then NXT?
Yeah.
Deadline.
I feel like
it's all together.
We would do a disservice if we didn't at least mention that first. Okay, so
I got every match wrong.
Remember?
But I would have got the Underground match right if we had talked about it. I don't know why we didn't do predictions on the Underground match, but I knew Lola Vice was going to win that. Yeah.
Because everybody knew she was going to win it. She can't lose a Underground match. She's like 3 for 3.
Right.
4 for 4, actually, I think. She beat Natalia, she beat Shayna Baszler, and she beat
Jada. Yeah, I think that's it.
Jada Parker, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 and none.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that one right, even though we didn't officially say it.
All right, so I'll mention the results. So I'll mention the matches first, just because this.
I can't wait to talk about NXT.
Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to developmentals that are better than the actual day-to-day product.
Yeah, man.
So men's Survivor, Iron Survivor Challenge, which just says pretty much the stipulations are you win this, you get the next title shot, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So it was originally billed to be Wesley, Javon Evans, Nathan Frazier, Ethan Page, and Blank.
Right.
So Blank became returning Obafemi.
Yeah. Well, we should preface this with the
Yes.
reason that it was blank is because somebody
Attacked
jumped Eddie Thorpe. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
So it was
that's going to
blank.
matter later.
Yes, it was blank because Eddie Thorpe was taken out, and they're wondering who could have done it.
Who
But
could have done it?
everybody realizes it was like,
This
oh,
thing I've never seen in my life. Anyway,
it's the usual angle, right? You're like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna like Nia
But
Jax beating up
the
our truth to
payoff,
get
though,
into
man.
the
Oh,
Royal
the
Rumble.
payoff is, man.
So the payoff was Obafemi in dominant fashion
Yeah.
beating up all of those small guys and Ethan Page.
Yep. Yeah. And Ethan Page.
Which pretty
Which
much
is-
told me that we are seeing finally. I told you, right? But I told you that for Obafemi to be the next challenger, it would have to be Trick winning.
Right. Yeah. We said that. You said that
We
in the chat.
mentioned that,
You're
yeah.
talking about what was going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Obafemi won
Yeah.
that, and he is the new number one contender. And great start. Next match was the NXT Underground match that was aforementioned by Keith. Lola Vice and her tight braids defeated
Oh, yeah.
Jada Parker and her tight gear.
Tina Heat.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the next match, which pretty much told me that Nathan Frazier is going to be a star one day.
Oh, man.
But Fraxium
Actually,
retains over the young no quarter catch crew members Miles
Done.
Bourne and Tavian Heights.
match
I'm
of the
done
night.
betting against Fraxium, dude. I'm done. Holy
You done with
crap.
Fraxium?
Hey, I
Oh,
should
yeah.
have convinced.
I'm done betting against them. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Oh no.
That's the first time I thought they were going to lose. And man,
And they balled out, yeah.
never doing it again.
So NXT Championship match. I got this one wrong, but Trick Williams retains over
I don't know why.
the NXT's heel of the year, Ridge Holland.
Everybody but D'Lo got it wrong.
I'm gonna get Ridge to win.
Everybody but D'Lo.
Crazy. That's crazy. I'm
Well,
like,
if I knew that Obafemi would have forced his way into that match, I would have immediately changed my mind. and
Right, because you
gone
knew
Trick.
Oba was going to win.
Yeah,
yeah.
because Oba versus Trick is literally the match of the year.
Yeah, millions of
the money
dollars.
match, brother.
Yeah.
If Trick
NXT.
can Trick knee somebody that tall?
Yeah, dude, he can definitely jump that high.
Say hi.
He
Yeah.
can trick shot
Get
him. Okay.
He like
Yeah,
two
for
inches. Oh, sure.
Speaking of the same height,
I mean, you can do it to Rich Holland. You know what I mean? Rich Holland's freaking giant too.
I thought Obafemi was a bit bigger than him.
Oh,
Am
He
I-
may be,
Yeah,
but
Oba
not
like
much.
6'6".
Oba's
Oba
big.
6'6", but Trick's
Yeah.
6'4", so he like 2 inches shorter. So
Oh,
he
okay.
good.
So
He
I
good.
thought Obafemi was like 6'9". Okay. that's
Nah,
what-
nah.
He
he's
looks
6'6".
huge. Yeah, it looks
Oh, yeah.
Looks
huge.
huge.
he's a
6'6".
menacing looking guy, and yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling it Obafemi new champion now.
Mm.
He's the one that sends Trick up.
Yeah.
I'm
I
definitely
feel
I
like-
have to agree with that.
Him
I'm
and-
on
him
board
and
with
Dude,
that.
I feel like
Nikita-
I keep bet. Dude, we said the same thing when he wrestled Ethan Page. We said it when he wrestled Ridge Holland. Now I'm just like,
But bringing in
conflicted.
this aspect, it reminds
I'm
me. It was like,
conflicted.
yeah, because Trick has faced everybody he has
So-
to face aside from Oba.
Right,
Obafemi is
Right.
6'4".
oh wow, he just looks like a
so
giant.
Yeah.
He just looks so
he's
big.
just a big
It's that
guy.
body type. It's the
Yeah.
body type. That's
Yeah.
why. But yeah, so those are the goings on of that match, of that card. Aside from the main event, of
Oh, the
course.
ladies, yeah.
So
Ridge is 6'1", by the way.
he's way
Really?
shorter than I thought.
Yeah.
6'1"?
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
Ooh.
actual, like, that's the actual, like, real
so
life.
he's shorter
That's an
than
inch
Trick.
taller than me.
Wait, he's shorter than Trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure is. Right. He's good.
Trick's taller.
Wow. Obstacle illusions, man.
Optical illusions. Keith, oh my God, Keith has too many. He has too many gimmicks.
Trick
Yeah.
is 6'4"
No,
as well.
obstacle illusion is something that I made up. It
on.
means that you think something's in your way, but it's not.
Exactly.
I
Right.
made that up. That actually has a definition. I actually made that up. Probably the only person in the world that says it. Me and my son. My son says it too.
I usually say optical illusion.
Well, yeah, I know. I know what an
But
optical
I
illusion is
get what
too.
I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. I
I
didn't
just
But
made
yeah.
up optical illusion. It's a
I
thing that
couldn't-
I said.
I couldn't
Trick is-
tell if you knew what it meant because you're wearing those
No,
shades,
dude,
and I
I
don't
know
think
it.
I don't know if you can see anything.
so
I don't know
I know
how
what it
your
means, man.
I don't know how your
It's my
optics are with those huge shades on.
Surprisingly dark.
That's what they said that's not what they said when I was born.
Trick is 6'4" as well, but he's like 70 pounds less than Oba.
Right. Sure.
Right,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to tall people being tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
So that was what happened, and then that obviously leads into the NXT, the aforementioned NXT.
Wait,
and,
did we say that Julia won?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah. Julia.
pardon me. So the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. It was Julia, Ren Sinclair, Vaquer, Zarya, and Sol Ruka. And shout out to Ren Sinclair for getting pinned as many times as she did.
Hey, she was the workhorse in that match.
And
Right.
looking like $1 million
And still
bucks,
got
dude.
pinned.
She was meant to
And
be,
still
though.
got pinned herself
Yeah.
at the end.
Mm-hmm. So
That was
Julia ended up winning that one, which I believed would be the case because she was the first one to come up and she's the first one to get the shot. It makes sense.
Cool.
And then she can go against the other people that don't speak English well.
Amen.
So Julia being the number one contender, and that was a 5-match. Take notes, AEW. That was
Yeah.
a 5-match quality PLE.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, let's be honest, they put on a
Yeah,
show, and each one of their matches mattered.
So Nathan Fraser.
I was gonna say, Keith,
can I
do you
talk?
want to
Yeah,
talk about? I was gonna say,
Please.
do you want to talk about NXT or do you want to talk about the?
Well, I definitely have some takeaways from the pay-per-view before we go into to NXT.
Okay, no, I was gonna say because I don't have the match card in front of me, and if you
Okay.
wanted to go over it,
Yeah, so I mean the takeaways from the pay-per-view are Nathan Fraser, Ren Sinclair, stars. You know, if you didn't already know, like Sal Ruka has gotten so much better.
Yep. She was
Because
impressive,
I know the first time I saw her, she was so awkward and like she was out of place a lot. But to do a match with that many people involved and do things crisply and make everything look good, she did so well. I'm surprised Zarya didn't get the win. They teased me. In like seconds, dude. I was like, Zarya's gonna win. But no, Julia got the win. So I mean, I guess they're running with that again. I'd half expected Roxanne to beat all the big names before someone took the belt off her. That was why I was predicting Zarya. But still, every match was so good, top to bottom, like great show. And there was consequences to everything. Like now Ethan Page is reconsidering his entire career. You know, it's just it was just good, man. Good night of really great wrestling, man. Fun time. So and then the next night, well, not the next night, but a couple nights later on NXT, we had
they finally introduced the way Trick is going to lose his title.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I watched the show. I can't remember the whole card off the top of my head, to be completely honest. I'd have to look it up real fast.
Well, the first one was Javon
Check
against
in.
Wesley. Oh,
Right. Oh, yeah, which so were those guys in the gauntlet match or the deadline match? Okay,
Yeah,
so they started it out, right?
Yeah, they started.
And looked sloppy as hell. Not gonna lie. Like they looked bad. when they started that match. And it might have been because Javon Evans was nervous or something. I really don't know. But they redeemed themselves on NXT. So that was cool. They ended up having a good match. I feel like Javon Evans, and this is kind of a throwback to what happened at Deadline, needs to stop trying to do super fancy cutters.
Yeah.
Because that's the second time he's completely blown it.
First time was against Randy Orton.
Right. And then he did it again with Wes Lee. Wes had to catch him, and they had to do a stunner instead. You know, he's got to stop doing that, dude. Like, if he can't really do it, stop doing it. You know? So,
I think,
I don't know.
I think, I think he can do it, and he probably does it every day in practice and stuff. But you know, in the big moments, man, you gotta execute.
Yeah, you gotta pull it off, man. But I think him and Wes had a really good match on the show, so they redeemed themselves. Like when they came out, I was like, oh, geez, because I didn't think they had very good chemistry at all.
Two small guys being small guys with each other. It's not really great.
Yeah, I just didn't think they had very good chemistry at all. But then, like I said, they ended up having a really good match on the actual show. So,
and Javon wins.
Cool.
Yeah, Javon won. Yeah, so which doesn't make sense in a way. Like if they're trying to have it be like Wesley is going to mentor him in a way, like what does him beating him show? You know?
Cedric Alexander is mentoring him, though.
Yeah, Cedric is part of it. Yeah.
Like, everybody's his mentor.
Well, yeah, but Wesley's trying to sneak in there, you know, and show him that he shouldn't be such a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah.
So is that storyline over now? Like, because he just beat him? Like, that was quick.
That was short.
You know? That was fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It was just kind of like...
all other things she says.
Hey, now.
Mm-hmm.
I like the tag match a lot.
By the way, we do have a 20-minute warning.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, I'm thinking if you guys are up for it, we'll sign off at 2:30 and just do an overtime thing if you guys don't care for the people on
I'm plenty
Spotify.
fine with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure we touch on some things.
Yeah.
They're going overtime.
Okay, so rather than do like a whole run over of the whole card, I'm just going to say a couple things about NXT that I liked. Hanging Tank are dope. I love big dudes who can move that fast and execute. Freaking awesome. Love watching those guys wrestle. Eddie Thorpe took himself out. Ava said, hey, Eddie, we're still trying to find out who took you out. He was like, oh, that's easy. It's me. So that was freaking awesome. That has never happened in the history of wrestling.
Where somebody
Eddie
took
Thorpe
themselves
attacked himself.
Wow.
He was like, I got a title shot now, and I didn't have to go through 25 minutes of hell. That was freaking awesome, dude.
Just for him to take the pin from Ova Femi.
Yeah, but still, freaking awesome. You know, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to touch on, but that was probably my favorite stuff. On
I want to touch on Gigi Dolan, but I don't want to talk about anything.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying I want to touch on Gigi Dolan, but I'm not.
I don't want to talk about anything else. Yeah.
No, specifically, I would say,
dude, I do want to say that JC Jane reminds me of Boy George in the '80s.
That's hilarious. She really does with the hat.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
Right.
And the glasses and the hair and the way she dances, even, dude. That's how Boy George used to dance. I don't know if she's doing it on purpose or not, but it's freaking hilarious.
I actually think she is. Yeah. One thing I will say is that I like that they're doing this whole loser angle with ego, because he's literally losing his ego because he lost to Tony D'Angelo for the title for the North American. So he downgraded. He went from rap battling and fighting Trick to fighting Tony D'Angelo and then losing to him. So he had a thing where he was like, I'm just lost behind like backstage when we lost. So I like that whole humbling. You know, he's playing the Vegeta character really well, because you know if you know anything about Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Super and all that stuff, Vegeta is always being humbled, but the reason why is because he has a mass amount of pride. He has so much pride, but then you see him having to dance for Beerus or having to literally like kiss the feet of Frieza and like all this stuff.
Merge with Goku. He didn't want to do that.
Literally having to merge. Exactly. So that's what they're doing. It looks like they're doing that with Ego. exactly. He
Yeah.
literally, he was like, I'd rather like lose my life. And he was like,
Yeah.
well, you're going to lose
That's
everybody's
what's
life
going to
if you
happen.
don't.
Right.
So it's interesting. So I think ego is going to go ultra ego. You get what I'm saying?
No.
I
Ultra,
don't
yeah.
know. I don't
Super
know if any
Saiyan.
of you are fat. I don't know if any of you are far enough in Dragon Ball Super to know what ultra ego is.
Yeah.
So Ethan Page is going to shave his eyebrows off.
Oh
Oh,
my
man.
god.
He's going to have purple hair, and he's going to become the god of destruction.
What the
He's gonna
fuck?
go. He's gonna go ultra ego. It's
The
if
god
it's
of
a
this. Oh, hell.
spoiler alert for a show that's already happened, but Vegeta
Right. We're
Vegeta
in
becomes pretty
February.
much a god.
In February, Josh Alexander is going to show up and smack him in the face and be like, "What are you doing, dude?
Yep.
Mhm.
I
Exactly.
What are
can
you
see
doing?"
that happening.
Well, I already called it. I already said like at some point we're going to get a Josh Alexander Ethan Page patch again.
Yeah.
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 Going to happen.
Yep.
And I love it. I love every minute of it.
Okay.
Yes,
Wait.
sir.
I do like the fact that they did and introduce Eddie Thorpe into it because it does make it almost obvious that Obafemi. But imagine if Eddie Thorpe actually wins.
Dude,
That'd be
The
fun.
swerve
be
of a
loving it.
century.
Yeah.
I'd be loving it
I would too. I
just
think
because
we're missing out
literally
on
done
that aspect.
he's done the coolest thing I've ever seen anyone in wrestling do.
Bypass a gauntlet match where he was going to
I
get beat
pretended he
up.
hurt him.
What I think is
Genius.
beautiful, though, I think it's beautiful, but I think we're missing that in wrestling now. Like the surprises.
Yeah.
Like how many
I was
surprises
surprised.
do we get anymore? Like maybe the Motor City Machine Guns, both
Yeah.
winning and then losing it again were kind of surprising. But I think
Right,
it's
sure.
just it's something that
and
they've
the
been
whole-
doing recently.
And Johnny Gargano,
I
That
wasn't
was a
really
surprise.
surprised about that though.
yeah, really?
Oh, yeah, think about it, he's
I
from
thought-
Ohio, right?
I thought it was going to get a little bit more intricate, maybe they'd bring
Wow.
Candice LeRae and stuff before.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I like how I glossed that over.
Wait, what happened?
I said, look at it. He's from Ohio. What do you expect?
I was like,
I mean, I'm not from Ohio,
Shout out to my friend.
I'm
Shout out to my
saying,
friend
I've
Zach,
been
who's from
there.
Ohio.
but there's a lot of scumbags in Ohio. No, I'm just kidding, dude. It's just a joke. Just a joke. Just a
Hey,
joke.
Fabe.
AJ Hawk.
Hey, Jay Hawk.
Nah, dude, I know a lot of people from Ohio that are lovely people. So
That
From
family.
Iowa, you said.
yes, from
He
Iowa.
tried to
That's what
trick
I said.
us. He tried to trick us. He tried to give a non apology.
I know a lot of Nebraskans that are dope.
True. Like
Oh,
I'm not.
man.
I'm not racist.
God damn, I went all the way, man.
I'm not racist. My favorite friend is white. You
Hey,
are
now.
white. That's not how that works. I was like, oh, okay.
All right, so
Shout
CNN?
out to Gigi. Shout out to Gigi for taking the loss. But
Oh,
I do
Shotzi
like-
came back. Yeah,
I
Shotzi came
I
back.
was gonna say that's
Yeah,
something I
Shotzi.
wanted to mention
Yeah.
as well. Shotzi being in possibly being in a faction with Tatum and Gigi, which
I was
is
waiting
my,
for Lyra, and here comes Shotzi.
which I
so,
nicknamed I nicknamed the faction my algorithm
nice. Nice.
because this is exactly what my algorithm looks like.
Uh,
Just alt-right women with butts. Just wonderful. Just super
bad.
alt. Hey, we freed her. Free her from this long pants thing. Stop
right.
it.
I was wondering how disappointed you were in that. She hasn't worn the G-string since she came back, dude.
I am very disappointed.
Yeah, she's got freaking.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Oh man.
Speaking of day ruining, does anybody
Yeah.
want to talk about Wednesday?
I'll do it.
We'll slide.
Oh, that's right. We
Please
got to
do.
talk about AEW. I completely forgot.
So peep this, right? Let me preface this. I go to the gym twice a day, and I've been doing so for the last 2 months, maybe 3. And I always watch cable, and I always watch wrestling before my night shifts. And I'm watching AEW. and I want them to be good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
of all my
absolutely.
days, of all the days I go to the gym, Wednesday is the day I don't care about.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah. On to
That's-
AEW.
Yeah.
All right, so John Moxley and Pac defeat Orange Cassidy and Jay White. I didn't see that coming.
YT Combat Club
Well,
getting the dub.
this one was hard for them because they got 4 of their guys that they like to push to the moon in the same match. So someone had to take the L.
Oh
And
no, it was
then-
a DQ.
And then
It was a DQ by Manis.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say no.
Hanger.
D-Lo's saying the exact same thing that I was gonna say really quick, but yeah, they brought in 2 other people that Tony Khan loves, friggin' Hangman and Darby Allin.
Yep.
Right.
Th-
Yeah, it was
those
just-
those 6 men, AEW pushes to the moon. Those 6 hardly ever lose a single match in AEW.
The stratosphere.
Yeah.
It's like the immovable objects meet the unstoppable forces. Which one's going to go down?
Then you had Offspray defeating Claudio.
I saw that coming.
That was a good match.
That was a really good match. Of course, Adam Cole Bebe defeating Kyle O'Reilly.
For the right to fight MJF, right?
Yeah.
Taking him on one-on-one style.
And then of course you had Ricochet defeating Brody. We touched on that a little earlier.
Ricochet getting booed.
Finally he gets a win, but to what at what cost?
Yeah. And
Brody's oh man.
Mariah May defeated Mina Shirakawa to retain the AEW Women's Championship. And of course we saw the return of Tony Storm.
Mm.
Yeah,
we already talked about what we said.
Although they kept it to 5 matches. For the
before the NXT round. But,
yeah.
I call AEW on my show. They must be listening because I said they don't ever have women main event, and then conveniently the next time I do it, they got women main event. I'm like
that Thunder Rosa WTF the WTF sign. That's funny.
That was funny.
That was a good one. Also, I do feel like that Bandito thing is weird, but the best thing on AEW. Do you not think it was the complete against the Learning Tree?
No.
We're getting Matt Cardona at ROH Final Battle in New York. So Jericho did the New York Minute, and he said he wanted to face a New Yorker. Shout out to us. Shout out to New Yorkers.
Woo-hoo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're better
Upstate?
than you. We know it.
Yeah.
Well, no, the city. Upstate can.
Hey, no. We're part of New York too, damn it.
Those bootlickers. So Matt Cardona versus I would love to see Matt Cardona's ROH title. I would love to see him as a champion against the Nueve.
Yeah.
Against Chris Jericho. Shout out to you, Chris Jericho. Future TNA champion.
Oh my god. He go for all the
He's going for the 10. He's going for the 10.
It would make sense for to go to TNA and get the 10. It would match. That'd be funny as hell.
But you know it's happening. Christian Cage is going to cash in at some point.
Yeah.
Christian Cage is doing. He had one of the best. He had such a good promo this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I like how he calls himself reigning, defending, future champion. I think that's funny.
That's great.
He makes it go over. Like he's doing what Brock Lesnar tried to do with the to make it look cool, like the briefcase and all of that, but he's making it actually matter a lot. Like he's literally calling himself he's champion, and like even if he loses it, it's like I love it.
Oh, so I did want to say something real quick. We just gotta shout out to Ren Sinclair's abs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I literally just said a couple weeks ago that part of what was holding her back is that she didn't look like a gym girl, and now she's literally been doing some crunches. So
Ren listens.
Nice job.
Speaking of which, I have
Ren Sinclair.
to start doing crunches. I think I've gotten down enough to where I can start.
Right on.
Crunches just make your belly look big if you're fat.
Fair.
Yeah.
Shout out to fat people.
You know what makes my belly look big? All the
Right.
freaking food that I eat.
Oh yeah. I thought it was just that dress.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh
Or
man.
anything else that we should take from AEW this week? Anything else of importance?
No.
Right
Damn.
on.
Yep. AEW still sucking.
Well, okay. In comparison to what we have on Tuesdays,
Right.
days, and occasionally Fridays, yes, they are. But this was still a pretty good match,
It was a good show.
or a pretty good show with good matches.
Yes,
Once they get on HBO next year, I'll start watching them every week, and I'll let you guys know how good they are.
I imagine
Okay.
HBO is going to make them do much better.
Yeah.
They're
They'll do
they're
better
just such a
promos.
big disappointment, though, man. It's just like there's no reason for it.
Well, maybe this Moxley angle where he's literally taking them hostage and doing a whole like upheaval.
Yeah.
Maybe this will actually lead to them being more serious, but it's a good. They're trending in the right direction. It was better than last week.
True.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, YT.
I want to give everybody I want to give everybody a chance. All of these promotions, as long as you're doing it well, and as long as you're not squandering all your talent.
Yeah. I will never run down wrestling to the point of like,
Micromanaging.
yeah. I mean, I'll feel some stuff won't make sense to me. You know what I mean? It's just not going to.
Right.
But I will never be like, oh, this is absolutely horrible because it's,
Like some people we knew.
there's always,
Yeah.
Damn.
there's at the very least, there's what the guys are doing in the ring,
Yeah.
what the guys and girls are doing in the ring. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
there's,
absolutely.
and there's good promos. You know what I mean? Like the stories that they tell that are out of their hands. I mean, that's
Mhm.
not,
Right.
I try not to judge that stuff, but AEW as a television company doesn't make a lot of freaking sense to me. It doesn't mean that when I do occasionally catch it, I don't see good wrestling stuff,
Oh yeah, there's good
But-
wrestling in there.
Yeah.
That's
Just
what they
as a-
pride themselves on. But you got to do more. You got to have like a
Right.
Freddie Prinze Jr. mindset. You have to have a Paul Walter
Yeah.
Hauser mindset.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that
Entertainment,
is something
sir.
that is something I'd like to touch on if possible at some point. That MLW, like in a little bit in depth, because there was a lot of important things that actually happened.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a good event.
Otherwise, I
Okay.
think that's we touched on AEW. We did our due diligence with
You
that.
guys want to sign off from Kish Radio and we'll go into
I'd say
overtime
so.
and talk about TNA and
Yeah. Mhm.
Indie Spotlight.
If you guys want to check us out, or I hope you guys are checking us out, but if you want to hear the rest of this, we are on SoundCloud. We are growing a great base of smart marks like yourselves and us. You know, just trying to-
Spotify.
Yep, Spotify. Soon YouTube.
Trying to
Hopefully
get on
Apple.
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we're gonna be going up, baby.
that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
man.
All the way.
So yeah, if you want to hear us talk about TNA and the Indie Spotlight, hop on over to when this is released on Spotify.
Which is wonderful stuff. And we also do need to mention the card for Saturday main event,
Yeah.
Oh, we
yeah.
do. So okay, we'll go over that too once we get over there.
which is a shorter one, but yeah.
And
but-
I am going to bid you adieu.
I do. All right. Take care, Nightmare.
Adios.
All right.
That's French.
great weekend.
That's French for peace out.
Yes.
Mhm.
Later, guys.
Later.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you to Kish Radio for hosting us. Another great week of wrestling talk. And for those of you who will be joining us on Spotify, we'll see you over there.
Please do. Check us out.
All right.
What a segue. What a
All
segue.
right. I was watching a movie where this girl was not very smart and she said hola for hello and adios for goodbye. And
Mhm.
people would go, that means hello or that means goodbye whenever she said it.
That is funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Not a very good movie though. It's called Toy Soldiers. It's kind of sucked.
Oh my goodness. I think I know
Not-
that, Sylvie.
Not the 80s toy soldiers. This was like a newer thing about teenagers hanging out at a roller skating rink who were going to kill themselves and stuff.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. It's a 2.5 hour independent movie about coming of age, weird stuff.
Mhm.
Very overly dramatic, and I don't know.
D-Lo got some wild posture right now.
You can't tell my posture because I have a background.
Because I was looking
Right.
like I was looking at this while I was wilding out, and I was like, that was a crazy sentence. I just read it. It sounds.
I know that we are on, like, I know it is Friday, right?
Yeah.
So it is Friday, and we don't necessarily always speak on the stuff that happened the Friday before.
On SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
But we should at least preface that and then maybe mention, well, because I do want to talk about the fact that it was in Minneapolis.
Sure.
Your home city.
There was some fan service. So
Yeah. Hey.
Tiffany do some things.
Tiffy time.
oh yeah, well, the funny thing is, right, is that remember last week that I predicted that there would be a title change because Tiffy. If I knew about this tournament and that she was in it, then I immediately would have took that off the table.
Oh, she's in the United
Yeah.
States tournament. Oh, okay.
Exactly. I had no idea.
Right,
So
sure.
it was, which is weird. But yeah. So I watched it. Like I said, I same
So
thing
she could
tonight.
end up being she could theoretically end up being a double champ.
Yeah,
Theoretically.
But I think she's gonna lose it. But so what happened is that yeah, like I said, I go to the gym every time. I'm gonna go to the gym tonight to watch some of it also. But Cody Rhodes kicked off doing his traditional Cody Rhodes thing. Hey, what do you want to talk about? And then talking about stuff.
Mhm.
But specifically, what I wanted to talk about is that, the United States title tournament, it was Naomi versus Tiffy versus Elektra Lopez.
Interesting.
Who I have not seen Elektra
Yeah.
Lopez have a match in a
Right.
while.
Right.
That was
Like,
my
I had-
first time seeing her.
And actually,
Yeah, I'm
good
not even
showing.
sure if I know who that is.
She's the female from Legado del Fantasma, I believe.
Yeah, that's all I know from her. I never seen her match, but she did
So,
okay.
Yeah, she did well.
Yeah.
I think that Tiffy winning, yeah. I think she beat Naomi. Did she pin Naomi?
Nah, I think she pinned Elektra. I think she pinned
Okay, I was gonna say because if she pinned Naomi, I would have been like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But Tiffy gets some in the tournament. To be honest, I was hoping for Naomi. I was hoping for Naomi to get in there.
Me too.
She has nothing going on. She's not a threat for the WWE Women's Championship other than being somebody formidable to feed to somebody.
You think she could be the attacker?
You mentioned that, didn't you? Didn't you mention that last week?
I said it.
What you thought?
I said it. I was like,
Well, speaking of the attacker thing, Bianca Belair and Piper Niven faced off with each other, and the reason why they did that is because Bianca accused Piper of being the person, which I mentioned wouldn't make sense because Piper was in that match. I thought.
Nah, she was there a little bit. I think she left like ringside. I think
no, it was Chelsea Green that was in the match with Bianca Belair.
Yeah, it was Chelsea.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. So it could be Piper Niven, and then Bianca faced Piper, and they had a fire match because
that was a banger.
You knew at some point Bianca Belair was going to do that. Was going to lift her and do the KOD.
But man, Chelsea though, poor Chelsea though. She ate all that.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, that's the thing that's beautiful about her. Chelsea Green. She can take bumps like anybody.
Yeah.
Speaking of bumps, tag team championship match, right? So Motor City Machine Guns against the Street Profits, but the Street Profits didn't make it, and DIY came up.
Yes.
And they already talked about it being not that I want to go bit by bit, but not everybody watches the shows, right?
I don't. So.
Exactly. So DIY with suggestion that Ciampa beat them up in the background in order to get their title shot, which I think makes
what you gotta do.
It possibly can help Montez become a bigger babyface. so he actually can get something done. But DIY beats Motor City Machine Guns, turning heel Gargano. Gargano becoming slimy heel, not
Mhm. He
not
bought
unwilling
in.
heel. He no, not even bought in. He was like, "Oh, of
What?
course I am. What? Of
Hell
course I'm a
yeah.
slimy heel." He'd already,
What about
Why wouldn't I be? I'm from Ohio.
exactly. He was like, I
Damn.
had the way. Like I had Austin Theory in my like anybody
Yeah.
that even is friends with Austin Theory is immediate heel. And then, okay, one thing that I was interested in is that the reason why I didn't mention what happened with Cody Rhodes in the beginning, because when Cody Rhodes came out, Minneapolis's own Chad Gable came out with his group of YTs and as in young talent.
Hey now.
Uh,
The Creeds.
exactly, the
We're
Creeds and Ivy Nile.
open.
The Creeds and a freshly beat up Ivy Nile. Shout out to the brand split that we don't have. So Chad, the reason why Chad Gable was there is because apparently there's a transfer portal opened up.
Hmm.
And
This guy
they're
crazy.
just making it where
Oh yeah, the
people
whole
are just
transfer portal
getting
thing. That's
traded.
weird.
Yeah. Well,
Transfer
it's a play on football. It's a play on college football, college basketball doing their transfer portal
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Gotcha.
So it's less of a draft because the draft was played out, if we're being honest.
Fair.
It was
Yeah.
never really a draft because NXT was never actually a part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So Chad Gable comes out and he's like, you know what? You're a All-American world, like state champion wrestler. I am an All-American state champion wrestler.
Okay.
I can dress the part too.
Mhm.
Oh, why can't I be? And then Cody was like, fine. Even though I'm a babyface, I always show these heel gimmicks, do these heel things. So I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'll challenge you. We'll fight. No title on the line, but just fight.
Georgia versus Minnesota.
Exactly. I found it weird. But yeah, shout out. Shout out to Chad Gable getting a chance to lose in front of us again.
Hey,
Third
hey,
time
you
in
get
a
the main
row.
event spot. Hey.
I'm pretty sure it's the third time in the row that they've been to Minneapolis and Chad Gable has just taken an L.
Yeah.
It
I
was
think
to
that's
Wyatt
what,
Six last time. It was to Gunther the time before, and then
yeah.
Well,
Can't win in
Chad
Minnesota.
Gable.
Hmm.
Chad Gable needs to grow. If you can't figure
He
out a way to grow,
speaking of growing, right? I
Hey.
like that Cody Rhodes is doing the John Cena thing where like John Cena as the face will always mention people's prior gimmicks for some reason.
Mm.
You ever notice that Cody
Shorty
Rhodes is
G.
just doing John Cena stuff? That's really all it is.
hey, it worked for John Cena.
Yeah, exactly. So he mentioned Shorty G, which is showing that they're starting to actually like understand that we're not stupid.
Right.
We understand the past. We can make fun of stuff in the past, But
Cricket
tonight is going to be an absolute banger.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll mention what's happening. We'll mention what happens tonight, and then we'll mention the two pay-per-views possibly, and then we'll be good.
Cool.
Sound good? And then Indie Spotlight, of course. We'll hand that
Right.
to
Right.
Always want to do
Sounds
Indie
good.
Spotlight because remember, just because we speak about the big shows doesn't mean we don't care about the small ones.
Right.
And no, it doesn't have to be a small one. Y'all can always just check it out and
Make it bigger.
just because WWE is on top doesn't mean they're the only ones.
Yeah, for sure.
So this week is going to be Bailey against Chelsea Green, which
Oh yes.
I really like. I want to see how Chelsea Green wins this, but I don't
Yeah,
see
I got
I don't
Chelsea.
see a main talent like Bailey getting a mid card title. I don't think it's what it's made for.
Right. Sure.
Right, I got Chelsea on that one.
A horsewoman should never win a
No.
mid card title.
Hmm.
Speaking
That's
of,
my baby.
shout out to Wildman's background. And then speaking of that tournament, it's also going to be Michin against Tiffy, which means that
I got Tiffy versus
Interesting.
Chelsea.
I have Michin winning. I have Michin winning the entire thing if Chelsea doesn't.
Mm.
Aaron could come out and
I
interfere.
won't be mad with that.
Oh, maybe Candice LeRae comes out.
We got to get Karen on TV.
Well, we gotta get Keith Lee back on TV too.
Yeah,
Right.
fair.
Spirit bomb to Tiffany Tretton. I was gonna say Stephanie.
Tiffany Tratton.
Stephanie
It's
Tretton.
Tiffany time.
Tiffy.
Stiffy.
Stiffy time is crazy, actually. That is nasty work. Thank goodness you
I
didn't say that
know.
on,
I got you, man. Anytime.
on the
Anytime.
radio.
That's what I'm here for.
Whoa.
Hey, you know it, man.
My word. So yeah, okay, so there's nothing in my head that tells me Tiffany wins this.
Mm.
Same way
Right.
there's nothing in my head that tells me Bailey wins this.
Right. They
So,
don't need to win it, that's for sure.
Exactly. So I really like Michin versus Chelsea Green.
Chelsea.
Battle of Lucha Underground.
Okay. I know.
Hey, I'm pretty sure because Chelsea Green, I remember
I know,
fighting
remember
Penta, and I
Chelsea.
think Mia Yim also fought somebody in
Oh,
Lucha Underground.
oh.
Chelsea Green was in Lucha Underground.
I remember, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely Chelsea. I fell in love with her with
Io
what she did.
Shirai, Io Sky as well.
Yes, Io, Kyrie.
She had a match on her. That was a
Oh,
good one.
damn, Pentagon boy. Oh my god, yeah. It was
So SmackDown is also going to have a final confrontation between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, which is something we'll mention about our predictions for Saturday Night Main Event. And so they're going to talk about that. Carmelo Hayes faces a mystery opponent, and I think Brent Nightmare already talked about who that will be, and it'll be a smack to the face of Tony Khan for Penta to come out and everybody doing this.
Sam, yeah, though.
You know what's funny though? How we always knew Penta. This has been in the video game since 2020.
Ah,
Mm-mm.
The Cero Miedo has been in the WWE video game for years.
Mm.
They certain like Swerve's stuff has been since he was in the
Right.
Indies.
right.
Certain people you just understand, like.
So the swerving your
point, it's
drive
you.
is in that game too. So he can swerve.
Oh yeah, it is. Yes, you can. What? That
That's it?
tuck, that scary looking finisher he does. Oh, that's in the game. It's been in the game for a while.
Oh shit, Prince.
It's called a half Nelson Buster or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Most
That
convoluted because he used to do the stomp, but then that was the coup de grace. So he used to do that, but
Mm.
obviously
Yeah.
Swerve had to do something else. But now he does the kick, the hot kick to the head,
Yeah.
the hot shot or something, whatever it's called.
Ding.
Mhm.
The thrust kick.
So those are the things that we're looking into, and then possibly some Final Testament if they're gonna get traded. I don't know.
Well, they've
I
already
don't know.
taken out the YS6, so
Like I said, I
Okay,
don't know
so-
how Wyatt Six can come back from having their leader lose.
They'll
yeah.
be all right. Just give them a gay rate. They'll be all right.
Obviously, they're booked as losers.
Yeah.
Happy losers that want to win. That's literally what they are. Like they they already talked about it. Like, oh, we were lost. Like, oh, I was floating in mediocrity.
Right.
Nobody took me. Like that's literally. So if thinking about it, it's okay. They lost. It's just not Uncle Howdy. So
weird.
I can run down the card for main event, and we'll quickly give a prediction and see how many Keith thinks he gets right.
Hey now.
And then
Just going baby
on
faces across the board, all baby faces. Happy night.
So what I do want to mention first, I do want to mention the results just by name. I'm just gonna gloss over them for the MLW, just because names, right? So Mads Kruger
Hey now, cruel.
defeats Baba Thunder. Mads Kruger, the leader of Contra, and I was watching this
Big fella.
immediately after Baba Tunde, now Baba Thunder.
Right.
There you get what I'm saying, right?
Damn big fella.
Mads Kruger comes in and brings Minoru Suzuki and the rest of the people in Contra, the tag champions, Kojima, all that. Well, no, the people that are fighting Kojima, so not him. But
shit.
they recruit Baba Tunde, Baba Thunder, and now Baba Thunder's part of Contra.
Oh,
So I think Mads.
They got converted.
Shout out to our former indie highlight, Mads Kruger.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. So he's
Yep.
he's now the leader of a very formidable Leader
So you got
considering
recruits.
Minoru Suzuki is a champion in it too. Like the tag
Yeah.
champions are in it too. So
Cool.
otherwise, Delmi Exo defeats Ava Everett. Delmi
Mm.
Exo is being trained by a very, very, very big name. Look it up.
Is it Dustin?
Oh no, it's she's from Mexico, so I believe it's I think
Conan.
Ricardo Rodriguez did her entrance, like announced, I believe.
Oh,
Sounds
Patron.
fancy.
So Delmi Exo, yeah, she defeats Ava Everett. Good man.
Sounds fancy.
UWFI rules. Two fighters known for fighting. The submission assassin, my indie spotlight one week. Alex Kane defeated the practitioner known as Bobby Fish.
Hmm.
So Alex
Nice.
Kane, Bobby
Wally
Fish,
Fish.
really good. Yeah, really good match. MLW middleweight champion, which is their mid card.
Yeah.
It was a championship and mask match. So Mystico, this was the match I was talking about that Bischoff put Mystico in. Mystico, formerly known as Sin Cara, aka Mexican legend, defeats Trevor Lee, aka Cameron Grimes, to retain his championship.
Hmm.
And then
Too,
in Eric Bischoff fashion, I'm trying to go as fast as in Eric Bischoff fashion.
Hmm.
Shout out to
Fact.
Queens. It was in Queens. Dijak came in and requested a title shot. So Matt Riddle had to fight Dijak because Matt Riddle has the number one contenders shot. And it'll be him that beats Kojima, I believe. But
What an NXT match.
exactly. So Riddle beats Dijak due to interference in order to keep his number one contendership.
Home interference.
Good job on y'all. Exactly. The funny thing is that the way they did this match, the way they did this card is that Bischoff prefaced every single match before the match happened.
Nice.
So literally, like Bischoff would have, he'd have a feud or he'd have like a promo with Riddle and Tom Lawler are a tag team now.
Nice.
What the heck?
They're called the Filthy Bros.
That
Nice.
sounds kinky.
So interesting. It's weird. It's so weird. But they came out. Bischoff was in the middle of the ring, and then immediately they came out to talk to him, kind of throw some jabs about him failing. They're like, "Oh, are you going to ruin another company like you did before?" And then he was like, "You know what? You're going to face Dijak, and because I have the power now, if he beats you, you have to give him your title shot."
Mm.
And then we also got some Paul Walker Hauser love. So New York City street fight. The Andersons, Brock and CW Anderson, defeated Matthew Justice, the champion of.
Who was also an indie spotlight guy.
Yes, exactly. That's
We've
why I
done
wanted to
another
mention
spotlight.
this. Like all of our
Mhm.
indie spotlights are on this big card. So
Okay.
Matthew Justice and Paul Walker Hauser lost to the Andersons. Good on them. Speaking of tag matches, MLW World Tag Team Championship, Cozy Max, which is Kojima and Okamura,
Okay.
defeated Minoru Suzuki. Carajo, that's
Yeah.
tag too.
And
That's a lot.
Minoru Suzuki and Ikuro Kwan. Kojima is double champion now.
Nice.
So Satoshi Kojima, at his big age of 50 something, is now tag champion and world champion in MLW.
Wow.
Cozy Max,
Good for
which
him.
means that he'll definitely lose it to Riddle. But yeah, I think huge list of so many matches on here, but those are specifically the ones I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And then the last few, Tom Lawler defeated Timothy Thatcher in the battle of people that look the exact same and have the same gimmick.
I was about to say they look just
Nice.
like.
Yeah.
And then the World Heavyweight Championship match, Kojima defeated Ultimo Guerrero
Interesting.
in a battle of
Wait.
legends. Who would have
Ultimo
thought
Guerrero.
if you had in your bingo cards that Eric Bischoff would have had a card with Ultimo Guerrero and Satoshi Kojima on it, you would have to have told me that you were lying. What the heck? Shout out
Yeah.
to all our indie spotlights because they're doing big things and they're going to be on the big card one day.
So
Okay.
did Dario Cueto and Eric Bischoff meet? Ever encounter for this night, or they just buy him off for the night? Or
Cesar, who used to run Lucha Underground, and Bischoff had a big back and forth
what?
backstage, as
Okay.
pretty much talking about the fact that they know exactly what each other has gone through.
All
Yeah.
right. All right, so they related. I figured that. I figured they be trying to get a beer together.
I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see Bischoff. I would love to see Bischoff in charge of MLW or some sort of
A
because
GM.
the way he made all of these matches matter, the way they put these together, just bravo. They did a good job.
Nice.
Otherwise,
It's nice.
I know I'm long-winded, but one of y'all want to? I have everything in front of me. That's why I'm doing it. But I can talk
Okay.
about the Saturday night main event. I can talk about the card, or I can
Cool.
talk about the final resolution card first.
Well, we should talk about TNA's weekly show a little bit too, because we did.
It did
last
happen
week.
Thursday. It did,
Yeah.
It did happen Thursday. So
Yeah.
I liked TNA. It was a go home show,
Right.
but I did watch some of it as well. Moose had a good start with his promo, and then Cody
Yeah, he
Deaner
did
came
it.
out in order to try to get himself into the title picture.
Right.
And
And Moose did
impromptu
an
match
impression of
happens.
The Rock.
Exactly. I like what Moose is doing, and Moose is trying to make the X Division Championship seem like it's the number one title, to kind
Right.
of in spite of Nick Nemeth having the main title, but also because Moose is big-headed. He's big-headed, and
Yeah.
he's very. That's just his character. But I
So-
like what they're doing.
Is Moose from another country, or does he just have a speech impediment?
I believe.
Serious question. Okay, right on. I couldn't tell if he had some kind of a weird accent or if he has like a weird speech pattern. I couldn't tell. Okay,
I think it's just the speech pattern there.
gotcha.
But right after that happened, AJ, Casey, and Tasha Steelz come out and they do a promo, pretty much
Right.
talking about how they're going to lose together as a family. Mike Santana runs into the Northern Armory, which pretty much, and like I said, I think I said it last week, but TNA, they actually build up they actually put in time and effort to build rivalries and not just throw people together and then them create something.
You can hear them say pre-tape 3 times.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
That's
What a
good
great
stuff.
time.
Good stuff.
Rosemary defeats Zaya Brookside because Zaya Brookside is always on the side of defeat, apparently.
Yeah,
Thank
that
Rosemary.
screeching thing that she does is really freaking annoying, dude.
A little bit, yeah.
Every time she does an offensive move, like what is that?
Ooh, Zaya or Rosemary?
It's the harpy thing.
Zaya.
It's
Every
the
time
harpy
she does
thing,
an
yeah.
offensive move, she screeches, dude.
Mhm.
It's the first time I've noticed it. I've watched her wrestle a few times. That's the first time I've noticed it. That's
It's her-
freaking irritating.
It's her version of the thigh slap, like the leg slap.
Nice, yeah. She just screeches like a raptor.
In the video game, just after everything is just like low screeching.
Oh my god! Like, come on,
Oh.
sound like a tennis player.
It's ridiculous.
Speaking of high pitched, the Forever High guys, the boys, the Rascals,
Hey now.
Zach Wentz and Miguel defeated impressive Leon Slater and impressive Laredo Kid.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Sound like a fun. Sound like
Laredo
a
Kid
fireman.
having a match coming up soon. But
It was a good match.
yeah, the system always has their hands on things though, which is
Yeah.
annoying. Number 23 keeps coming up. Shout
Michael
out.
Jordan, baby.
Exactly, but
LeBron James.
PCO and Sammy Callahan defeat Jake Something and Hammerstone by disqualification.
Yeah.
The number 23 keeps coming up, and I'm wondering what that means.
Michael
LeBron
Jordan.
James.
LeBron James. Speaking of what is it? Indie spotlights. The knockout champions, Spitfire, defeated Heather and Ash by elegance.
Spitfire.
I'm getting a lot of audio on your side.
Sorry, my son came home and he was just telling me about his day at school. Sorry.
I hear you.
All right.
It's all good. Yeah, Ash and Heather by elegance.
Heather.
The capital, they put the L in elegance.
The
Just
Heather.
Put the L in elegance.
Heather by reckless. I said Heather by reckless. That's amazing. Heather and Ash by elegance, because that's what they go by. Heather by elegance, Ash by elegance. They're at some point they are going to get those titles, but they're getting L's. They're getting L's put on them, which I kind of thought that Heather would get L's going with Ash because she's an L machine.
Oh my God, Heather, we lost again.
Oh my God, my concierge made me lose again. Speaking of losing, Nick Nemeth, the guy we believe in, Joe Hendry, say his name and he appears. He's behind me now. Don't look. And Slamovich. So pretty much the babyface alliance. Nemeth, Hendry, and Slamovich defeated AJ, KC, and Tasha Steeles.
Yeah.
But Francis looks big because he sky high choke slams Nemeth twice. He holds that title up, and I hope that's the last time he ever touches that title.
Damn.
Which also prefaces. Well, let me. I'll give a last word before I preface.
I just want to say, like we talked about this off camera, but that was a really weird match. Joe Hendry was barely in it, which I didn't get. Like I said, I was waiting for the big tag and the big pop, and Joe Hendry to come in and do a little house cleaning, but it never happened. And Masha Slamovich did a really, really cool corkscrew barrel roll plancha out of the ring. It looked dope. And then
she solidified herself.
Yeah, definitely.
She took the reins from Jordan Grace, and Jordan Grace can gracefully bow out.
Indeed. Yeah, she's a lot more than a power wrestler, which I hadn't really seen before this match. So good for her. AJ Francis is huge, and Casey Navarro is teeny, itty bitty tiny. Also,
he's the same size as Tasha Steeles.
Yeah, dude.
And Tasha Steeles kind of sunned them.
She might be a little bit taller than him, honestly.
Just a tad bit, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Short Kings.
Right. It's just funny stuff.
Yeah.
So we do say that to preface, and I will mention these fast, and let's just give our thoughts, because I think Saturday Night Main Event is the one we should talk about last, because I think there's going to actually be some important things on there. Believe it or not. But I'll mention this, not the two pre-show ones, because pre-show.
The pre-show matches are weird though.
They are.
Jonathan Gresham's on a pre-show match, and it's weird.
Because Kazarian and Gresham, considering that Kazarian is an actual title contender.
Yeah,
but I think it's on the pre-show because John is out. He's on his way out with Jordan.
Right, sure.
Both of them, because Kazarian wins this. There's no even reason to talk about it. Yeah, and Leon beats JDC, I imagine.
Right.
So one of the main ones is that I believe this is an ipso facto kind of number one contenders tag team match, which I think you're going to like because Something and Hammerstone lost the night before. I don't think they lose twice in a row.
Right.
So it's going to be Sami Callihan and PCO, the winners of that last match, against Hammerstone and Something, against the Rascals in a triple threat. Who do we think?
Right.
D'Lo, who do you got in this?
Sounds. I'm gonna go with the big guys, Hammer and Hammer something.
Hammer something. I think should be. You heard it here first. I think Hammer something should be the name of their team. So I also have Hammer something. The reason why we have this small team of the Rascals is so they can get ragdolled by both of them. Yeah. So Hammer something is going to win.
Trash bags.
And then they're going to face the Hardys.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so it's Keith breaks his streak. All right, so either that or we're wrong again. No. Okay, so the next one, they just
what if the system wins the tables match?
That
What
would be
if?
absurd, but if they win the tables match, then 100% Hammer Something wins the next week.
Yeah.
That would be a shot to the
But
system.
that's amazing. I do like that. The system doesn't lose every match this night, but they do lose one.
Right.
But they had a little bit of an exchange the night before, or that TNA. I mean, I didn't mention, but Ace Austin and Trent Seven are facing each other.
Ooh, that's tough.
Interesting.
I like Ace
I-
Austin,
I think Trent Seven's
But-
lariat is going to take him out.
yeah.
Seven's
I like
lariat
Ace
is the
Austin,
one.
but Trent has been looking impressive.
Mhm.
It's tough, man.
Doing better heel work, so I think just storyline wise, they run with him.
Yeah.
Ace Austin doesn't lose anything. He's a team competitor. Shout out to
Right,
Chris
right.
Bay. I saw a lot
Yeah,
of
man.
signs saying Chris Bay
ABC,
get well
baby.
soon. Mhm.
Yeah.
He said ABC.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yes.
ABC.
1, 2, 3.
I thought I heard something else, and that's not the channel we're on. So
Ooh.
next match, I already called what I think is going to happen: Jordan Grace versus Rosemary.
Yeah, Jordan's got or Rosemary's got it.
They're pushing
Hey, bro.
Pink. They're pushing P very,
Mhm.
to the moon. So, who do you think, D'Lo?
Go with Pink Rosemary.
Yeah, I mean, what would be the setup, or what would be the point of doing this whole setup if she was going to lose? You know,
Well, exactly. It does nothing for Jordan Grace to beat somebody
Yeah.
ever again. So, number one contenders match, which is going to be an important one, which I think we already talked about this one a bit.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry, Josh Alexander, Mike Santana, Steve Macklin. There is a feud between Josh Alexander and Mike Santana going on, so I think they're going to take each other out. Joe Hendry is the golden boy, but Steve Macklin is on fire. The man literally cannot lose. So, number one contenders match, fatal four-way. I have Macklin winning.
Same.
Same?
See, I can't be wrong unless we're all wrong, because
Yeah, I'm going the same. I'll go Mac.
Yeah.
Go Mac.
Steve Madden's winning, man. Yeah, which
I'll
I
go
said
Mac.
a while back. So
I can't imagine it would be Hendry anymore.
yeah,
Because,
Me
like you
either.
said, Santana and Macklin are hotter. But
Yeah,
Santana's
definitely.
taken
Yeah.
out by Josh Alexander. So it's going to be a
Oh.
case where the Northern Armory just drags Santana out and just beats him up. And then it's just Joe Hendry for Steve Macklin. And then whoever Joe Hendry feuds with next is the reason why he
Right.
loses.
Awesome.
Or
Yeah.
or Eric Young comes out because Eric Young has been on Steve Macklin's team when Steve Macklin was facing Hammer something. So
Right.
speaking of teams, tag team championship, Hardys against the System in tables match.
Mm.
Eddie Edwards can't Boston knee party his way into a win this time unless they do a really good spot in the corner. But who do we have winning this?
Mm.
D-Lo.
Got the Hardys. Good
Hardys?
old school. Got the Hardys.
They're not transitionary yet. I think they lose it to
Okay.
Hammer something, so I think they win too. Losers get nothing out of losing. So Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, they'll lose.
He'll be all right.
I mean, I kind of want
Yeah.
to say the System. I mean, even though,
You want to go against the system by going for the system?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can shock the system.
I
That's
hate the
why.
Hardy Boys. I hate Jeff Hardy so much. I never want to see him win, dude. So
I'm done with
I like
watching.
Matt, but I'm not a Jeff Hardy guy. Like,
I was
Matt-
always
Matt all day?
I was always a Matt fan when I
Yeah.
was younger, and I did like the fact that the Deleter Worlds things with Bray Wyatt even was good. The whole thing we did with the Hardy compound. He has a
yeah,
I'm not a big Jeff fan anymore though. Everybody loved Jeff. Everybody loved Jeff because of the Swanton Bomb and everybody, and that was the thing that everybody loved doing. But
Yeah.
if we're being honest, yeah, I hope this
On
is the
our
last time they
teenage
touch.
beds
I hope this is the
Yeah.
last time they touch
and
ropes,
couches.
Yeah.
to be
The
honest.
sooner they
Swamp.
lose the belts, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
But they have to lose it in spectacular fashion. That's the only reason why they have
Which
it.
a table match, you know what I mean? Beating them in
But-
a gimmick match. I mean, that's
But it's like almost beating the Dudleys in a tables match. It's like it's their match.
yeah, right.
It's
Right.
like it's like beating Tejano Jr. in a bull rope match. It's like it's his match. He invented the match. It's like his thing.
Tejano.
Not invented, but it's his like signature match.
Hey,
Shout
that's
out to Lucha Underground and
That's
Triple
when
A.
they ain't heard in a while. Tejano.
I know it's been a while. Tejano Jr. Yeah. Speaking of names I haven't heard in a while, Kushida is fighting for the X Division Championship against Moose.
Weird, right?
Again.
Weird, right?
Again.
Moose is gonna kick his ass. I mean,
I was like, again.
Yeah.
Moose is not tapping out to the hoverboard
Yeah, fuck
Kimura
that.
lock.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moose
So I
gonna
imagine it's Moose all
wreck
day.
his ass.
I
It's
think
Moose.
he has the ugliest spear in the game.
his
Yeah, I
boot, his
always
spear
thought
is
that.
so weird.
Yeah, I always thought that.
Well,
too.
because he does the
Look at that
roll.
thing.
He does the roll through, but this last
Right.
when he fought this Cody
Yeah.
Deaner, he did the Booker T too, where he was like talking to him while he beat him up, which I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
liked.
Or the Rock.
I'm
The Rock
going to
used do it,
avoid.
too.
I'm going to avoid doing this for the rest of my
Yeah.
life.
Ah.
That was crazy.
But yeah, his roll through spear, he's pretty much already his back is to the guy before he hits him. It's so ugly.
It's weird. It's really weird looking.
Yeah.
But you know, we're
definitely no
trusting the
gore.
system. We're trusting
Definitely no
exactly.
gore.
Shout out to Rhino who did make an appearance last week though.
Hey now.
You just can't. How can I mention every single thing that happened though? It's like it's just so
It's
much.
hard, dude. There's so much stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of things that are hard, knockout
Hey, now.
championship
Oh.
match. Knockout champ. Well, I'm just saying because this is hard to
Also,
hard to admit
hard to-
who's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
win this for me because the Boricua badass.
Yeah.
like-
She's looked
I
so
like-
good lately, dude.
Exactly. She beat Jordan
Yeah.
Grace. She got herself back into the title picture. She was, as they said on the thing, as they said on the program last week, she was a former tag champion. She's legit.
Yeah.
But she's facing the female centerpiece, like the head
Right.
of the division for years
Yeah.
to come at this point, because I think Masha's found a home.
Yeah.
She's been around.
TNA.
Exactly. She's the new face of TNA, maybe
Yeah.
even more than Nick Nemeth at this point, because she's a homer, like she's,
Yeah.
even though Nick Nemeth, of course, like him going on every it's just going to be everything.
crazy.
No, every highlights, every TNA Impact video I see, it's just him like,
Yeah.
it's just him with his mouth open, just yelling or something like that. I'm like, bro, close your mouth and smile or something. So who do we have between Slamavich and Tasha Steeles?
Oh, Masha wins.
Man.
Yeah.
No,
I like
not
Tasha
much
Steelz,
more.
though.
No
I like
gimmicks,
Tasha
no interference. We haven't even said an interference once.
I
Alicia
don't think
Edwards
Alicia-
interfered in 2 matches last week.
She did.
That's right.
She's so
She's on
little.
her and her kendo stick are making
Right, and
rounds.
Alicia and Tasha are sort of aligned,
They were,
Yeah.
but not anymore.
sort of.
Not anymore.
Right.
Because she went after her.
Right.
Oh.
So yeah, Tasha
Oh.
Steeles is heel as well. So Tasha
Maybe Alicia interferes because she wants the title. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
I don't want
Wow.
Masha to go against Alicia yet.
She's so little.
She
I just feel like
She would get destroyed. She would get
So it's
destroyed.
teeny tiny
all
girl,
around,
man.
She would
so
get
all
destroyed.
around we have Masha. I would like Tasha
Yeah.
to be at some point champion, but we have
Sure.
Masha. And
know.
champions that we don't want to lose for 500.
Oh.
TNA World Championship.
AJ
Nick
Franchini.
Nick Nemeth against Top Dollar AJ Francis.
Dolph Ziggler versus Top Dollar is a wild ass main event.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude. What is
If-
that?
I'm going to say this: if Top
What
Dollar
is that?
looks strong in this match, let alone wins, it'll set TNA back years.
He's gonna look strong. Nick's gonna bump
Yeah,
around. for
It'll
this stuff.
set them back. It'll set them back
I
to
mean-
before EC3's second appearance. Like it'll
Hey
set them
now,
back.
hey.
So it'll.
Damn.
Josh
Damn.
Alexander will have been his legacy will have been forgotten at that point.
Oh my gosh. Damn.
The TNA
He's
World
still there.
Championship, the prestige
Tell
will
us
go
how
down.
you really feel about AJ
Damn.
Franchini.
I know. I will tell you,
Damn.
Franchini. I will tell you.
He
The
let it
prestige.
go.
It's like if you let your 3-year-old play on your Call of Duty 6 account.
Damn.
Your
Damn.
your KDA will go down. Like you're
Oh,
like
man.
at that
Damn.
point, just put it back on David Arquette at that point.
Wow.
Hey, I said put him on.
Wow.
Hey,
You have a
Damn.
tall, goofy mofo.
yeah.
First of all, I was told by exes is that if I ever went bald and kept the big beard, it would be ew. Now I know why. Now I know why. AJ Francis with his puffy, his reverse chia pet head.
Oh man.
And like you put the seeds in the chin and then it grows out of the chin instead of on top. Defying gravity, like you had to turn him upside down like Show Tucker's head after Scar did what he did to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, not the first one, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I always
Right,
say he
so-
look. I always say he look like a knockoff of Suge Knight. So I always said that.
So I'm
That's
gonna
exactly
go
what
with
he is. No, that's 100% what
I
his
always
gimmick
said
is.
that. So, I mean,
His gimmick 100% is Suge
money,
Knight.
money, money. Yeah. I'm gonna go with AJ Francis.
I
Yeah.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. Then
No,
again,
dude,
it
I'm
is your
not.
gimmick, so I know you will be.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Hey, yo.
Not gonna go with AJ Francis.
Sizzle
I'm
just
going with my
mentioned
man's dog.
Sizzle. We cut the we had a
Yeah.
cut. He had mentioned if we were gonna have a 3, it was like we might have a 4
Oh,
at this
geez.
point, but no, it's gonna be we'll be done in the next
Yeah,
20 minutes.
Sizzle, if you're still listening in, we had planned on getting off at 2:30 and doing an overtime thing for Spotify.
Yeah, we did a sign
we
out
even
at like
we
2:30 on the
signed
dot,
out and
or 1
everything.
p.m.
Sorry, brother.
I seen that he was still on here. I didn't know if he had heard
Yeah.
us. But yeah, we
Whoops.
have so yeah, Nick Nemeth wins.
Yes.
Yeah, I got dog. Oh man,
You have me on record saying no, please, no AJ Francis. But yeah,
yeah, we were
You
doing
let
an
it be
extra
known,
hour
brother. You let
for
it be known.
Spotify.
which I think
Thanks.
we should do on the regular because we should have the
I think
amount
so,
that
too.
we want to speak about. So, which I think would be nice because then we can kind of keep certain things to just the Spotify, right?
Right, sure. Yeah.
So what I think is that we should mention certain things that we want to get out immediately that people would care about maybe a bit more.
Right.
Maybe like certain. Well, we'll workshop that, but yeah, Nick Nemeth. I hope he wins, and let's get into. There's only 4 matches on main event at least.
Yeah, we'll get that done and then we'll do the indie spotlight real
and
quick.
then we'll be good. And then
Get out of here. Yeah.
All right. And he just messes back, so we're good.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 matches, but all 4 matches matter. And like I mentioned with that NXT PLE where there was a few, there was only 5-6 matches at most.
Well, it's only this 2 hours or an
Substance.
hour. It's 2 hours.
What is the
Yeah, Saturday night main event.
is it 2 hours?
Is it? I really don't know. I haven't seen
imagine-
anything
Was it
announced
always
about the length.
was it like that 2 hours back in the day?
Back in the day, it was only like an hour, I thought.
Yeah, it was an
Oh.
hour back in the day. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm assuming that it's going to be an hour. Shout out to it being in Long Island, New Yorker myself. It's a
Strong Island.
Nassau Memorial Coliseum. It's been a while since I've been there. I used to go to Islander games over there, man. I used to go to Hofstra to visit some friends of mine, and we used to party. Oh my goodness, I've had Quagmire here. Shout out to everybody from Long Island that knows what a quagmire is.
Oh man.
Hey, no Family Guy.
Mm-hmm. But no Family Guy, exactly.
I actually was in a band when I was 18 called Quagmire Gumbo.
I do like that name.
Yeah, it was
a good name.
We were basically a cover band. We did a couple originals, kind of a heavy metal band. But
that reminds me of that Parks and Rec joke where Chris Pratt kept talking about how many different names his band had.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was
I
so
have
funny.
the Mouse Rat CD. It's pretty dope.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was saying Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
From Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Mouse Rat. I have the Mouse Rat CD.
Oh yeah, Mouse Rat. He's like, yeah, we went back to Mouse Rat.
Yeah, I have the Mouse Rat CD. Pretty dope.
I thought you said Kyla Pratt, and I was like, no, different voiceover person.
You know.
Shout out to her. She'll be able to play children voices for the rest of her life.
Yes, she will.
Proudest of the family.
So I do like Live Nationwide on NBC. So I'll be able to watch it at the gym at 7 Central. So 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. First match on here is Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. The reason why this happened is because Drew McIntyre is perceived to be the attacker of Jey Uso.
Interesting.
So Sammy, going in for his Uso brothers, obviously being, I don't know why they named him Sami Zayn on this. His name is Sami Uso.
Yeah.
That's right.
But it's going to be the battle of the fair-skinned fellas. And who do we think is going to win? The Syrian sociopath or the Scottish psychopath?
Scottish psychopath.
I like Syrian sociopath.
Going with Drew.
So we think Drew comes back in winning fashion? I don't imagine how he can't, considering he is set to be the biggest heel. He's set to be the biggest heel he actually is, if we're being honest. He's the biggest heel in the company.
Definitely.
Gunther is on his way to being a face.
Right.
And when he loses to Finn Balor will then be the biggest heel, but I also still
Dominic
think
needs to do more physically damaging things before he can be the biggest heel. He might be the most hated, but it's not the same. You know what I mean?
I don't count Dom and the New Day because they're hated because people love to hate. But I'm talking about the most menacing.
For sure. That's what I'm saying too.
That pushes the same way they need Joe Hendry to be the biggest face aside from Nick Nemeth, and they need a big heel. You need to have the big heel, and Drew is money. He's money.
Yeah, absolutely.
He might win the Royal Rumble again. Who knows? Who do we have?
If Joe Hendry does it.
Drew all around. Say his name.
Drew
all around, and then we'll go straight to the next one. Then Gunther defends his title, the big Goldie with the W in the middle, against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I already said it. I will stand on this hill. The reason why Finn Balor is in here is because they think he's going to take the pin, but I think we're getting the swerve, and I think he beats Gunther.
Really?
Not only do I think he beats Gunther, I think he beats Gunther, and then Gunther goes into a tailspin that Damian Priest has to help him out of.
Interesting.
Because then he loses Kaiser because Kaiser stays heel, and then he's like, I don't want to follow a champion.
A
loser. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get my own championship.
Wow. So I was thinking that Balor and Priest kind of take each other out, and Gunther picks up the scraps, but
picks at the bones.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he'd pin, but that's an interesting.
I feel like we need to mix up. We need to mix up because Gunther, I don't mind him as champion, but he's run his course.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to have a championship for a whole year, a calendar year.
Fair. Yeah.
Also he's already, he's known to have lost before. So this would only go into kind of the same thing they're doing with Ego, where he lost the championship and then he just keeps losing. Then he has to find a way to come back.
Yeah.
What's better than a face that has to, come back?
Oh yeah, fight up. Yeah, definitely.
To make him a face, because he's going into this championship match as a half heel.
Yeah.
Damian Priest is the face. Finn Balor is the chaotic negative. And then Gunther is just, which is why they put him in the middle of this in the poster.
Yeah.
And it's perfect the way they did it, because it pretty much is that he loses and then he goes to the other company.
Right.
Because they're already talking about him going transferring to SmackDown.
Right.
Which because they mean to put Cody on Raw full time.
Right.
But
what are you worried about that?
I think he loses it. You get a lot of shenanigans to keep Priest. Dom holds on to Priest while Finn Balor does the coup de grace onto Gunther with the title on his chest.
Ooh.
I want the title. I want Finn Balor to put the title on Gunther's chest and then stomp on him with it.
Dang,
interesting.
Because Finn Balor's got to look strong.
Yeah,
got to make. He's been losing. He's lost 50 times this year.
Yeah, that is true.
He has the most losses in the WWE aside from his tag partner JD McDonough.
Damn.
And that's
And they're the
real
tag team
numbers.
champs.
Crazy.
And they're the tag team champs.
Aside from also Solo Sikoa.
I say solo work.
So yeah, so in order to make Finn Balor look good, obviously he needs the shenanigans. He has 6 stable members to do it for him. And I think he has to win it.
Get him a HBO special. Help a brother.
Otherwise you got to end Judgment Day here.
Right.
You got to just split them and let them go their separate ways. But so 1 for Finn.
Yeah. I'm going with Gunther.
You're going with Gunther? You're going with Gunther?
Yeah, I got Gunther too.
So no love for
it's
Priest.
Interesting, dude.
Nobody thinks Priest talked to
nobody.
Because Priest seemed like he was going to talk himself back into the title picture because he's getting better.
He did talk himself in the title.
Yeah, but
he got this title match. He did this.
Yeah, and then he lost. Yeah.
He just did, and he did it again.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I personally, I think for story,
well, the first one,
I always go things not as a fan, unless it's GG, but I always go at things as a writer. I'm writer minded, and I always want to go with what can you work with, what can you make the best bet for the future, what can you have the best storylines with. You can do it. You can do much more with Finn right now. As the dastardly heel, considering that there's so many faces up and coming that are trying to legitimize themselves and have Finn stop on everybody from the ground up and then get beat out by somebody who's better than him.
Right on.
Which is face Gunther.
Right.
Or the winner of the Royal Rumble, which might be Damian.
Interesting. Right.
So the next match is another title match involving the Judgment Day. And a woman who apparently doesn't have backup.
I am a member of Damage Control.
I am a member of Damage Control. Remember?
That's crazy.
So we have the representative of Judgment Day 2.0, 3.0 actually, technically, because Edge was the starter. So Liv Morgan, WWE Women's World Champion, against Io Sky, coming off of some really, really good matches and showcasing. You guys have titles changing on Saturday.
I mean, I say Io wins, dude. You do too.
That's the joke.
I say Io wins.
There can only be one.
Yeah.
You say Io wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does that happen, considering that Judgment Day has Raquel and Carlito?
Well, she is a member of Damage Control, but I
suppose 3 women can beat up 1.
Indeed.
Then again, if that 1 is Raquel, maybe not. Or do we see a Asuka return to mess up Liv Morgan? And then a Liv Morgan versus Asuka angle. I like it.
I just feel like Io has been super impressive always, and I think this is the payoff, dude. She actually gets to win the belt. There's no reason for Liv to still have it, That's
true. She could do everything she's doing right now without the title.
Without it. Right. Yep.
Also, if I'm being honest, the title looks weaker every week it's on.
Yeah. And the thing is, Io winning the belt takes Rhea out of the equation, which opens up the women's division. Yeah. I just think it's a good idea. To
actual get contenders, people that are, and then maybe Roxanne steps in to fight Io.
Hey, that would be awesome.
Roxanne versus Io Sky would be.
Oh baby, I would love.
Oh my goodness, I'd put. I would put that as a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, for sure.
So Keith, you think Io?
Yeah, I definitely got Io.
D'Lo, you think?
I'm going Livy time.
I think it's Liv. Do we see a cash in?
No,
we can't.
I I
We
won't rule
can't
it out
assume that we'll
unless
never see it. We'll never see it, right?
Right.
I wouldn't announce
Because
Saturday Night Special.
if Tiffany loses tonight, does she cash in tomorrow night?
Mm-hmm.
She'd be like,
Still no.
as a consolation, if I didn't get the
Yeah.
mid-card title, maybe I'll just get the regular one. She did also talk about Ed Deadline, talk about cashing in on Roxanne, which I really think was just a way to get her on TV in Minneapolis.
In Minnesota, yeah.
I do like that she put it in. So no shenanigans, just straight up match.
Oh,
A
there
little Liv.
could be
A
shenanigans.
little Raquel, maybe Rhea come out to try to even odds, maybe that.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, there'll be shenanigans.
So Money in the Bank is technically a shenanigan. Raquel technically is a shenanigan. The rest of Damage Control is a shenanigan.
Right.
So I imagine there will be at least one of those. But I think Liv wins.
Yeah.
To be honest, I hope Io Sky wins, but I also don't think that putting the strap on her does anything for the title either. To be honest, I think it's a good rub for her, but she's also already been champion, and it also kind of puts Damage Control in a weird place.
Yeah. I don't know. Her first title run was kind of weak. Lots of outside interference.
If Dakota Kai wins that title,
yeah,
I would love for Kairi Sane and Asuka go for the tag titles, and they just run rickshaw. They have all the belts.
Dude.
I want it.
Fire.
I want it. I want it bad.
Yeah. Fire.
But that's only if. That's only if. So tonight, if Dakota Kai's fighting tonight, is she?
No.
Oh no,
she's
on
Bailey.
Monday.
She's on Monday.
Bailey against it's we just talked about it. It's Michin and it's Bailey
and Bailey.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be Michin and Kelsey Green against each other, and then it'll be Monday. So Monday. Okay, I got you. That changes what I think, but Io Sky still could win, but I don't think it's tonight or tomorrow. I don't think it's Saturday. And then for the second time in a year, we have a foregone conclusion between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens.
Cody Rhodes.
So
very clearly wins.
Cody Rhodes is obviously the babyface of the 2020s.
Yeah.
They're going to run with him until the wheels fall off. He might be champion for 3 years, the way they're booking him. He might go on a heel run as champion still. That's how long he has it.
Forever.
And then Cody versus Kevin. Remember a few months ago, I called that Randy is going to turn on Cody?
Yeah.
This is when he does it.
Oh.
So that's my call. That's my call is that Randy comes in, reminds us that he was a part of this to begin with, pretends to go against Kevin Owens. They get back the RKO shirts because they need that merch. Same thing with the RK Bro. So I think if it's going to happen, I might be stupid because I don't know how Randy's health is right now, if he's even healthy enough to do such a thing. But I think the fact that they have to hit with this card, they have to.
Yeah.
This is the first Saturday Night Main Event. They have to make a statement. That's why I feel like there is going to be a title change, the same way where they had to go into that new Raw with in Netflix. They got to go into it with a bang.
Right.
So
there will be a title change.
What do you think's the bang?
There will be a title change.
Well, because you called.
I got Kevin Owens winning.
What?
I got the upset of the decade. It's gonna be the upset of the decade.
What? This would be the upset of the decade, I would say.
Yeah. With a little bit of help from you, Pablo. A little help from you with KO. Might as well.
Interesting.
So you think because of Randy Orton, Cody?
I was thinking that, but then I thought about it. I was like, you know what?
Who else would be in
straight up? Have him get pissed off at Cody so much that he goes the old KO route. Power on the apron, boom, boom, couple more stuns and take him out. Fuck it.
Man, what I would like to happen.
Take the fuck out.
is if they really want to follow this Drew McIntyre story, because Sami Zayn was on a team with CM Punk, and because Cody, ipso facto, is kind of allies with CM Punk.
No, because he teamed with Roman. Think about it.
And Roman teamed with CM Punk. So like literally, like because of that, and Drew McIntyre, which is I love that they're mentioning the fact that Roman was literally a dictator and that nobody forgot.
Right.
So like the fact that they're like, oh, your alliance with this person, I hate you now. Like, no, you can't do this. Oh, you want this, but nope, no, you can't. So that's why I do think that Randy Orton is the one that does it, but there can be so many wrestlers. Think about it. Think about how many people Roman Reigns made their lives miserable.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson can come back and say he's a great because of it. Exactly. Frankie Kazarian. He took my spot in the Shield. Like literally, like there's endless amount of people that hate Roman. But there's also people that just don't like Cody either.
Right. All right, fellas. We went a full extra hour and still didn't do the indie spotlight.
My word.
We can do Junior.
We'll account for certain things taken out by Tyler.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say real quick.
No, go do as much as if you could.
Okay.
If you could.
All right. So our indie spotlight this week is on Brittany Brooks. She's based out of Arizona. Really talented, athletic girl. She's only 20. So she's got a lot of time. She's defeated Kylie Ray, who we know is an ID prospect now, and we know she's done a lot of things. Beyond that, so yeah, definitely keep an eye out for Brittany, especially if you like. She's a good baby face, a big good baby face with the good athletic background. Like she looks like a cheerleader, So if you like cheerleader wrestling, there you go.
Cheerleader wrestling.
Well, you know what I mean. Like they do the cartwheels and backflips and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Ruger type shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Shawn Michaels. Also, apparently WWE is looking to sign a gymnast out of. She is thicker than my mother's accent. Also, shout out to my mother who actually listens. She told me, she was like, "Oh, mijo, like I like listening. I have no idea what you're saying, but
that's perfect. That's perfect.
So shout out, Mama.
All right, fellas. So once again, we're going to say goodbye because apparently we have still been live on Kish Radio. Special 3-hour edition on Kish Radio this week.
Well, I hope you love us.
Thanks for accommodating us. This was fun. Yeah. And check us out on Spotify and Roundtable Wrestling. Thanks to Tyler Martin, ME Studios, my beautiful co-hosts, D'Lo, Pablo, and Brent.
I am beautiful.
Indeed. We will catch y'all next week for more Roundtable Wrestling.